Bum, 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 bum.
We've got Josh. We are live.
We here?
I think we're here.
Is it? Is it
I,
happening?
I think it's happening. We think it's happening. We hope it's happening. We're
No
looking to
idea.
see if it's happening. If people happen to be joining us live, well, they need to say so in the chat because I believe we're live on at least my channel.
Yeah,
I
we're live
think
on
we're live
Joshua's for
on your
sure.
channel too. I mean, if
Am
I
I?
pull up my phone, it's probably going to tell
Do
me.
it.
Look at this. It just said a bite of
Oh
brownie
hey.
is live. Oh.
Oh hey guys. What's happening? Am I supposed to? What's up? No.
So it
All right.
looks like we are live. It's showing it on both of our channels. We're good. So it is
Hey,
Vlog
it's you. It's me.
Pastures Season 2 Wrap Party.
What's happening? Hi guys. What's going on? We're here. We made it. We lived. I got a nap. Did you get a nap?
I got a
First things
good
first.
nap in. I got like
Oh,
a 48-hour nap in. No, it wasn't. It was like 10 hours. And that was the most I got, I think, in the entire month.
dude. I've slept more in the last 3 days than I have all month long straight. It's been
No
incredible.
joke. I completely understand that. It has been rough. Looks like J Cup of Tea, my nephew Jonas in the house. Hello, Jonas.
What's
How you doing?
happening?
So I don't know who all. You're gonna have to keep track. Let's see. My wife just sent me a message. Here, bring that here. She said I'm leaving at 8 to meet Melanie. Sweet. Hey, before you
Say
leave,
hi to
would you bring me
Melanie.
some more coffee? And then say hi to Melanie for us. So, all right. Here.
Dustin, what's happening, my
Oh,
friend? See,
you got
Jesse's in here.
Dustin on your end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
See,
yeah. See,
Dustin doesn't want to give me any love on my channel. He wants to go give
I'm
you
just
love on
saying,
your channel.
allegiances have been made. What?
Apparently, so that's all right. I don't know what's going on other than just, I even spelled Jonas's name wrong. He's going to hate me for that. So that's what I get for trying to type and talk at the same time. But yeah, you got some people over there rolling.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
has been a blast for this month, although it's been
It has.
excruciatingly exhausting.
I have actually okay. Veda, which was vlog every day of April, was a rough learning curve. This one
Yes,
was just rough on the sleep. I loved this one. This one was incredible.
I'm so glad because
You didn't.
I did not. This was rough beyond all belief. Just rough altogether. It wasn't fun, wasn't easy. It was just rough.
Oh, you're on your own. You're so on your own on this one. You know what? I couldn't tell because like every time we Skype back and forth or whatever, it looked like you were thriving.
Okay, so the first 3 weeks, I was golden. I was like, this is amazing. The last week, brutal.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
rough.
That's true.
I don't know what it was. But it got to me and I was like, I don't know if I can. There were a couple times I almost called you and I was like, I'm done, dude. I just can't do it. It was that close.
There's definitely for those of you vloggers out there, there's definitely a wall that you run into about for me it's week 2 when you realize there's no getting out of this. You're in it. And
Right?
there are weeks to go and you're not going to sleep. It's not going anywhere. People are waiting on you tomorrow morning. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, just buckle in.
Yep.
It's going to be a long ride." But
It
I love this one, man. Loved
it
it.
was
I love
fun. We had some great conversations, some great dialogue, some amazing questions
oh,
that people were bringing, which, by the way, if you guys are watching and you have more questions for us, let us know in the comments or wherever they show up on whatever device you're watching. And we'll try to get to those. I know I've got a couple that were carryovers. I think you had a couple as well. So
oh
we
yeah.
might get to those here in a little bit. Um,
Definitely. Dustin, Danielle, thank you. Thank you.
What's the
Appreciate
big
it.
idea? They're over there. That's all right. I got your live stream going. I'm helping out your watch time.
Hey,
I'm
thank you.
boosting you over
Boost it.
there.
Look at this. This is my first live stream, guys. Well, hosting one. Joshua's helping me out. Actually, he's hosting it. I'm just piggybacking. I'm riding right now.
And in case YouTube watches this and at some point they're like, hey, you guys can't do this, I call shenanigans. I reached out to you on Twitter. You said this was acceptable. I asked for clarification. You sent me the terms and conditions. I looked at it. Everything is good. Plus, how do other channels like news channels get away when they're all streaming the same feed that comes from the White House?
Yeah.
So I think we're good.
Answer me that, YouTubes.
Yeah, I think we're good. Honestly, I think it's probably just something that other people haven't really tried. I've not seen others do something like this where they try to simulcast one stream on both channels, but we're each bringing our own content. I mean, you've got value on your channel. I've got value on mine. We're both bringing it to this stream.
Yep.
Why not spread the wealth?
Yep.
So
Sonic,
good to me.
my man, just saying hi to everybody. Sonic, how are you? Hi.
So we got Matt Shack in the house over here saying, "Sup, fella pastas? What are we talking about?" Yeah, then Danielle and Diana Gladney in the house. Diana. So we are doing this rap party. It's essentially Vlog Pastures Season 2 is in the books. We both made it 31 days of daily vlogging. And now we're just chatting with each other, kind of unpacking.
Hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, and hanging out. Why? Because we can, and we want to.
We had so many leftover questions, and we've kind of grown this friendship over the last, several months of just, we like hanging out and talking with one another. We thought, hey, you guys might like sitting in on a conversation we have. Might benefit from it. Might enjoy it.
Agreed. Our conversations do become pretty entertaining.
Ham.
I'm not sure they're going to want to stick around for the 3 hours that we normally chat over these, though. But
we should probably set a time limit on these. Like the rap party is, 45 minutes, an hour.
It's going to happen either from Jessica or Genevieve. They'll just open the door and throw something at us.
Hey, Jessie's in the feed right now.
She is.
Unless she's are you walking the dogs right now, baby?
I see she's asking if she can be your top fan. I think that's already a given. I don't know how I can manage this. I've got mine over here. I've got mine over here, or yours over here. It's crazy. So
there's a lot going on. I wish you should share your screen. No, maybe not. There's so much going on.
Oh.
Like there's me, there's my live feed, his live feed, all of the volume levels, all the different pictures and pictures, all of the intros and outros, and
one of these days,
I'm just
because I've got the new show that I'm going to be starting, the 3 Minute Thursdays.
Oh, yeah.
One of them, it will be talking about live streaming and how to do that and some easy ways to do it and then some complicated ways to do it. I chose the complicated route.
But of course, I'm sure the quality, though, is at a different level. Because it is. I've seen them.
I think this is good. I mean, everybody in the audience, I mean, watching on the feed, in the community, in the chat, they'll be able to tell what the quality is. But when I'm looking down here at my phone, I mean, we're looking crispy here, so I like it.
Good deal. I'd turn on my phone, but the whole internet would crash. I'm the limiting factor on this thing. Danielle, say yes to your daughters. They need one. They need a yes day. Everybody needs a yes day.
Need a yes day.
That wasn't a part of Vlog Pastures this season, but I think that was right before Vlog Pastures, wasn't it? Where Jesse had a yes day. Everyone needs a yes day. I highly recommend it. If you're a husband, if you're a wife, if you're a kid, yes day. Yes day to the dogs. Yes day.
That is awesome. Yeah, it looks like Diana's saying that the quality looks good over here. Dustin Damesworth in the house over on this end, saying that my brother doesn't want to be on my channel. Diana's saying you both powered through August. It seemed like this second go around was a bit more challenging than the last one. You briefly touched on that. You think that this was easier than Veda?
Yes, leaps and bounds. I did not know what we were getting into in Veda, which made starting Vlogmas quite a bit harder. But once I was in it, I knew we're good.
Now, had you daily vlogged before?
Okay, so we had tried to do kind of the Casey Neistat thing and just smashing out vlogs going along, but the production level was so low that it was nothing to pick up your cell phone, shoot a little bit, clip it together. I mean, spent some time on it, but it wasn't where we are now. And not to say that we're, at any
Right.
certain high level, but we think through the day, think
Yeah.
through the question, think through where we're going to be, think through what's the audience supposed to get out of all of this rather than just running around shooting random bits, even though that happens.
Okay, so then daily vlogging with production in mind, you hadn't really done before April?
Not before April. I mean, we're always trying to scale up and do better,
Right.
but this
But
was
like
like a
on a daily,
challenge.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This was a consistent, not like we
Okay.
need to be uploading multiple times a week. This was you're going to be smashing it out for 30 days, no stop. Somebody's watching.
Yeah, all right, all right. See, and that's where I had done Vlogmas. So, vlogging every day, December 1st through the 25th. I did that
That's
last
right.
year,
Hmm.
and that was rough, but I was doing vlogs like we do. I think obviously my quality now is better than it was even, 9 months ago.
Oh, definitely.
But that was a challenge. But then when April hit, April really wasn't much for me. It seemed pretty easy. It was the interaction that was different, but that actually helped me. I don't know what it was about this month. It was rough for me. It was
That
so
blows
hard.
my mind. The
Yeah.
questions were better. Like I think the first time that you had Dustin on, I think it was Dustin, you did a video and
Yeah.
spliced him in there. I was like, game just changed.
Hmm.
The game just, and the first part of my video, Dustin, you didn't get to see it because I cut out three-quarters of it. But I spent three-quarters of the video that I was trying to make going, the game's changed. It's different. Like we've got to go in this direction. There was just such an interactive nature to what happened this season. Like I don't you could tell that there was an audience that was asking questions. We weren't just trying to come up with goofy stuff that we wanted to know about one another. We found that out last season. So this season it was more like we did goofy stuff, but it was
Right.
what are your questions? What are you guys thinking? What do you guys want to ask a pastor? And
Yeah,
that
we had
was
a lot
fun
more
and challenging.
of the community that really stepped up and offered questions, which was so fun until we get to that one question. Logan
Oh, which
Marshall
one?
54, your
You're gonna
favorite
call Logan
question,
out.
my least favorite question.
That was awesome.
It was a good question. It really was a good question.
Beautiful question
It was
that nobody
just
can answer.
well, and
It's a landmine.
it was. There was one of the other friends that I've got, another YouTuber, another pastor, Kevin Purcell. He had basically said that it was almost like, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, but watching my video was cringy for him, where he saw me wrestling with that. It was rough.
I loved it. I loved your video on that because I don't know what came across in my video. That's how I felt on the inside, and I felt like you expressed it properly. I went ahead, you know me, my mouth starts running and the film's already going, so what we got is what we got. But I felt the same way on the inside of this needs a deeper relational context. I mean, I'm going to give you the 30,000 feet version of if you're a soldier checking in on this question, you need to know that
Yeah.
there's some weight and gravity to this, and you're loved. But if we're friends, or if there was some sort of relational aspect where we could go deeper over a cup of coffee, that would be much better. So it was a
Right.
landmine, man. But I
Right.
thought you beautifully
Well,
handled
and
it.
it's like if you ask me, does God use war? Absolutely. That is clear. Old
Absolutely,
Testament, New Testament, no problem. Does
absolutely,
God even promote or endorse, I guess, to a certain degree, self defense? Absolutely. That is clear throughout Scripture.
absolutely.
But when it comes to how the question was phrased, every time I
Yep.
tried to do this, it was just like, and the hard part is I've got friends, I've got family that have served in active military, in wars, active
Yep.
combat. I've had conversations with them and seen the emotional toil that takes on them, thinking back on that. And every time I started to say something, it was like I was ripping a Band-Aid off. And it was
Yep.
like, no, this isn't the pastoral care for me just said, no, I can't do this. I need to have those conversations one on one so that
Sure.
I can weep when they weep. I can embrace when they need it. I can scold if they need it, whatever they need. But the nonverbal type of communication where I can't see their response, that was the thing that I was just like, I just couldn't effectively do it. So
I understand.
It was
It
rough,
was beautifully done.
but it was such a good question. Those are the questions I did enjoy. Okay, so apart from that one, because I think that's one of our most favorite ones. Most favorite.
I'm with
What's
you.
this
Keep
Iowa
going.
grammar
Hey,
going on here?
I'm rubbing off on you. A little bit of that Texan on you.
Okay, apart from that, what was your favorite question of the month that you either asked or that I asked or somebody else asked?
Man, I'm gonna have to go back into the videos and take a look. I don't know. I always enjoy the lightning round. I had a lot of fun doing the best coffee in Stephenville. I
Ooh,
mean,
yes.
that was random and fun. We've had a lot of good feedback off of that one.
The coffee
Enjoyed.
challenge was so much fun.
You know what was humbling? I don't know if you guys know this or not. I know Joshua does. We shot one. I can't remember the name of it, but Jesse had to finish it. There's one where Jesse lands the plane. I think it's a perspective from 30,000 feet of Joshua Harris and Marty
Yes.
Sampson. So that one was incredibly difficult for me to shoot for a lot of the same reasons as you were just saying, because there's so many different relational dynamics that go into this, and to just, stamp this thing and walk away was an injustice. And so I'm trying to like walk that two-sided sword, two-sided fence thing,
Yeah.
and I couldn't do it. And so my words weren't coming out. I was getting flustered and frustrated, and eventually I just turned away and I was like, "Jesse, you do it." And so she steps up to the camera and she lands the plane, and I was like, "Holy cow, girl, get it! I'm leaving more often." Good night.
Nice.
So that's probably one of my favorite ones. I don't remember what the exact question was, but that's one of my favorite videos. But yours?
And my favorite was, what am I going to do to prepare for the zombie apocalypse?
Oh, why?
Because
Not everyone, but
it
I got quite a
was
few comments on that one.
okay. Here's why. One, it was fun. Two, there is a biblical component to it. And that's one, honestly, when it comes to the younger generation, the teenagers, even the early 20s, zombies, I get asked more than anything else. It is ridiculous how
Yep.
often I get asked something about the zombie apocalypse or Walking Dead. And because of that, I never would have asked that question. But you did, and it was hilarious. And it was fun from the YouTube creator standpoint for us to go around. I was already going to be in Des Moines. It was perfect. I wanted Zombie Burger anyway. And I knew what I wanted to ask you the next day because we were going to the state fair. So I wanted to talk about like guilty pleasure food. So it
Right.
was like the perfect setup. And then that whole area of downtown Des Moines with the sculpture
beautiful.
park and the
Beautiful.
murals. It's just... Oh,
Absolutely
it was
beautiful.
great. So it was like perfect all together. And then a bonus was we were at the sculpture park right across the street from one of our friends,
Scripture
Melanie.
Park.
Yeah, Scripture Park. And that's the good type of slip. You got it on your mind when it comes out.
All right.
But we're across the street from where Melanie works. And one of the guys in her building, Dustin, you might remember the name Eric Nelson from Fort Dodge, who used to like roll around with us back in the pro wrestling days. I haven't seen him in over a decade. And so we just got to chat and catch up. So the whole day was just really good. That was like the highlight day altogether. So
Danielle's saying, "I've never been to Zombie Burger. How is that possible? How is that even possible, Joshua?"
I have
Thank
no
you.
idea how she has not been to Zombie Burger.
And I think you owe
And
some
quite
people a trip.
frankly, next time, Danielle, next time you guys are back, let me know. Just tell me when, and we'll meet you at Zombie Burger. They've got like 4 locations in the Des Moines area. They might actually have a new one out in Iowa City as well. But wherever it's at, I'll drive to Zombie Burger. I mean, come on, that burger that I had, I try to eat healthy. I really do. There was nothing healthy
There
about
was
that.
nothing. I saw that one, man.
2
There's
grilled cheese sandwiches for the bun. A triple cheeseburger with caramelized onions and applewood smoked
one of
bacon
those
in
you
there.
just smash down. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Dustin says that they moved before they opened. So we moved before they opened.
Yeah, but they come back every now and then, so that's funny. Okay, I'm gonna look
I want
back
to know
through
from you
here.
guys, what was y'all's favorite movie or not movie? What was your favorite film of the season? Favorite
Ooh,
video that we were doing? I'd love to find out which one. From a filmmaker perspective, Joshua, I enjoyed your leveling up of edits, the cuts and transitions. Your attempt at jumping into the vehicle was
that was fun.
hilarious. I love that one where you jumped in and your hat comes flying off the. Oh, that was good.
That was
Where'd you come up
so
with
much
that?
fun. Zach King.
Zach King. Do I know Zach King?
If you do not know Zach King, there is something so wrong with you.
Check him out. Zach King.
Zach King. So he does a lot of like YouTube magic, and it's a lot of just camera tricks and stuff like that. It's amazing. I know you know Zach King. He and Peter McKinn did a video together where they were in Zach King's studio playing the Nerf battle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
it's that guy. But I couldn't find a tutorial on how to do that that didn't involve keyframing. And so I was like, I don't have time for this edit to set down and keyframe it all. I was like, no, I I couldn't do that with it. So I was like, I'm just going to figure out how to do like a jump cut and make this work. And that's all it was.
It was brilliant. It
So
was brilliant. Well done. I know what you mean about keyframing now because I spent a lot of the electricity ones
yeah,
keyframing every bit to make sure it
of the
sticks onto your
bolts and
finger.
yep,
Oh,
yep.
and it goes with it. Oh,
Oh, it's such a
pain.
hassle.
Nah, you guys don't care about that though. We're geeking it
Such a
up on.
hassle, such a hassle. I'm going to roll up here, and I
Yeah.
think I had a couple questions. So Matt Shack was saying, "Are y'all lead pastors? I'm a kids and youth bro." Yes, we're both lead pastors. How long
Yep.
have you been a lead pastor of your church, Shared?
This is my sixth year this summer.
Nice. I'm trying to
Yep.
think.
Carry the two, multiply it by
I had to
six,
sit here and
and
think about it for a second. I think I'm wrapping up year 5. Yes. So getting ready to enter 6th as lead pastor. And then did you do like any youth or assistant pastoring prior to that?
I carried the books for Pastor David. I just, as a term. No, I did not do any youth
Not
pastoring
official
or anything
title,
like that.
but doing
I
it without the title.
interned. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Interned, and we're such a small church that you do small groups and youth, whatever youth there is to be,
Yeah.
youth leading.
Right, right.
Uh,
Yep, totally get it. Kind of looking down here a little bit more.
yeah, same here.
Now this is funny. I've got like my mom and my sister-in-law, Deb and Danielle, saying they're looking forward to the 3-Minute Thursdays. I don't
Yep,
think you guys
me
realize
too.
what 3-Minute Thursdays are. We're talking tips, tech, tutorials, tricks, tools, and
Yes,
tech.
yes, yes.
Lots of
Wait, how long? Let's. There's what we want to know. How long did it take you to come up with that, or is it just does it just roll off your tongue when you say things like that?
that
Tips,
vomited out
tricks.
about 30 seconds before you got the video of it.
That was amazing. I saw you do that, and I'm like, I wonder if he sat down and just like, I'd be there for 3 weeks going tips,
Nope. I was just
tricks.
getting ready to say it, and I said the first recording of it was, I think, tips, tech, tools, and tutorials. And then I said tricks. It just like slipped out, and I was like, ooh, there's another one. And then I think tactics, or I don't know, there was another T that came out.
The gift of gab,
Yeah.
dude. You're a blessed man.
Yes, yes. Okay, so Diana's saying
So
that
much going on in here.
Diana and Danielle, the coffee challenge was great. They loved that. And I would just like to officially say I am the coffee champion.
That's true.
That-
That's
I,
true.
I went 6 out of
will yield
9.
that one. There is no question. I mean, in our household or your household, you are the coffee champion. We we wouldn't be able to compete at all because whenever we were looking at all these different coffees from around town, we could hardly tell the difference except for two that stood head and shoulders above the rest. And
Starbucks and Linville.
yeah, you nailed
Yep.
all of yours.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
all of yours.
and when she
Down
had
to the
told me
MX.
the 3, I was like, come on. You're telling me I can't get the difference between Starbucks, Smoky Row, and Scooters? I know my coffee. Now, if she had said, do like a sugar-free latte or something, no clue. I wouldn't have been able to get it. I just never drink it. That's like right here. What, she brewed me.
I love that cup. I love that cup. Yep.
I don't know. That's one of the, I don't know. That's kind of a flavored one. It almost tastes like Highlander grog. But Mario Escoboda saying he thinks he watched every episode on both of our channels with the exception of like 2 or 3 days, and he liked the coffee challenge videos. So that is good. Jason Mayfield is apparently saying there's some censorship on my channel because he doesn't remember me bleeping out you in any videos.
What?
I did this podcast with Jason Mayfield, and he got censored. So he let a little PG rather than G rated, and so I just happened to censor him a little bit with a little bar over it that said hashtag not your pastor.
I gotcha.
So
that's ringing a bell now. I remember that.
It was fun. So yeah, this is Danielle saying, I'm looking forward to you trying to fit something in 3 minutes.
That's not fair.
I'm not sure if you can be done.
Danielle, get back over here.
She's actually, she even said that she's doing both channels.
Get back over here.
She's doing both channels. She flat out told me. She said that if I were looking at it here, for the record, I am diplomatically watching both live feeds. So
that's awesome.
I appreciate it.
PJ. Hello, PJ.
However, I had looked at your channel, and Dustin said that the reason that he's not on my channel is because he sent me this gift of this monitor display, and I haven't sent him pictures of it yet. But to be fair, Dustin, I'm still waiting for my second curved monitor to complete the look.
Do you see? You can't see, but you have to understand how incredible what he just did truly is, because he's watching his screen, my screen, managing all of the buttons and knobs and bows, and I can't even get through the comments. Bro,
it can be a challenge. You look through your comments, find a couple that you need to shout out. I got a couple more over here real quick. So Danielle saying that she just wants to see if I can fit something in under 3 minutes. Yes, I think it's possible. And honestly, here's just a new question that you can think about this in the back of your mind, Jared, because I'm going to ask you. If somebody asked me, because I've been on YouTube for just a little over a year now, what is my favorite video I've made in that year? It was actually the Thing Under the Thing challenge.
It was a good one.
And it was with me and Micah, and I was talking about how to pray. It was 2 minutes long. And it wasn't because it was 2 minutes. It was just there was such an amazing story in that 2 minutes that's what I don't know. I loved it. That was my favorite. So it can be done. Although I may occasionally take the Peter McKinnon route and have a 3 minute, and all of a sudden we're like 10 minutes in and I've just blown past the 3 minute mark. But I'm going to try 3 minutes every day. Well, every Thursday when I'm uploading. That's my goal.
Not a prayer.
So, okay, Jason Mayfield, text me a pic of what you're looking at right now. I can't fully do that when I don't have my cell phone here. So, all right, Jason, I'll send you a message and text you it, but I'm going to have this fish in place of my phone. So just so you know, yes, that was a fish. All right, so shout me out some of the comments you've got over there.
I'm reading through. I'm just now to Dustin. Is it Damesworth? I don't know, Dustin, how to say your last name, but seen you a few times. Hi. Wait, let's post for the whatever he's taking a picture of. All right. He says, I got to show everyone my support. Thank you, sir. Appreciated everybody's support this season. It was incredible. You could feel you guys in the comments. Like when we're making videos, we're making them with you guys in mind, trying to really get to the point and bring some value. So appreciated y'all being there. PJ, Gone in 60 Seconds, Gospel in 60 Seconds, whatever it is. That was your favorite. One of mine too. Let's see. Danielle, What'd you say? Yeah, I think it showed a lot of personality from both Jared and Joshua. Yeah, we really got into our personalities this time. And to answer your question that you didn't ask me, but you were going to ask me, what was my favorite video of the year so far? It was actually from this season. I can't find it. I don't know what the name of it is, but it was the one where I got to just pray. I can't remember which one it was. It
Oh
was like, this
yeah.
is why we're here. Like, I don't know what it was. It just, the Lord kind of took control of things. And I know it's not the most flashy video that I've ever made, but it was truly a heartfelt video where I thought, this is why we do what we do. We get to pray for people. We get to connect at a much deeper level. Yeah, this is YouTube. This is video. This is a platform, but there is somebody on the other end of this camera piece that I'm talking to, and the Lord did his thing.
Right.
That's my favorite video.
Yes.
Zombie Burger.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, yeah. So, hey, did you have some questions that came up this season that you wanted to get to that you didn't?
Oh yeah. Hold on. I'm so unprepared. Let's see.
I was supposed to be
Actually,
prepared and I didn't.
yeah, there's quite a few. I don't know that we should necessarily answer them here because it's one of those that they might need a little bit longer thought time. But it's Mike Purcell. He asked one. He said, "How has vlogging impacted your ministry?" I thought that was a fantastic one.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, how's it changed
That was
things?
Kevin, right? Kevin
Was it
Purcell?
Kevin?
Yeah,
It was Mike.
Kevin
Getting to
Purcell.
know everybody still.
Because I think he got me on that one as well. You want to take that off the bat or you want me to?
Go for it.
Okay. So how has vlogging impact my ministry? I would say a couple different ways for me. First, and I think the most important, is it has really helped me be more comfortable in my own skin and not caring what other people think about me, and realizing that a lot of this is just who God created me to be, and there's beauty in it, even though there are flaws in it. And so it's helped me to kind
That's
of
good.
embrace the strengths and the weaknesses, and
That's so
realizing that
good.
in those moments of weakness, I can really rely on God's strength. So that would be the first way that I think has been how it's really impacted my ministry, because it's just allowed me to be a more effective communicator in just being me, and letting the quirkiness, the goofiness, the bluntness, all of that come out. The second way that I would say is it's actually helped, and my church would probably give a big amen, in cutting down my
Yep.
sermons and getting to
Yep.
the point. Because I sit here and I do this editing, and it's like I've got a message that I want to do. I don't want it to be any longer than it has to be, but I need it to be as long as it needs to be. And so that same principle applies over into the sermons, where I think just a couple weeks ago, I preached for probably 50 minutes from start to stop. And by stop, I mean pre-prayer. I mean, us pastors, we got like a 10-minute closing prayer. But so that was like a 50-minute one. But then this last Sunday, I've got a timer on my tablet just to kind of keep track on what's going on. And I finished at 28 minutes. I was done. And so then it was like looking around, I was like, well, that's it. I mean, do whatever you want. You're done. You can have a good week. See ya. Stay blessed. Enjoy God's best. So, which I do tell my church the same thing that I tell all of you guys at the end of every video. So that's how it's impacted my ministry. How about you?
I hate to say it, but just stamp it. Same thing. Same exact same thing.
What a cop out.
Really just no, no, no. I that would be my answer. It is truly, and as much as I stumble over all of my words, it's just who I am. And the beauty is when you watch it back as many times as we do when we're trying to edit, you get so sick of yourself. You get so sick of all your nuances and things. It forces you to address some issues, and it forces you to let certain things go. Like I have quirks. I have isms, and I have kind of come to terms with those things. God has used those from time to time because I'll hear somebody make a comment. They notice this about a certain video, or they notice this about me, and I'm not really seeing them as a weakness anymore. They're more of a strength. If God can use any bit of my flip up, I don't know how many times I picked on myself throughout the season because it was like trying to get the words out that people could really identify with that and say, yeah, that's how I feel when I'm trying to communicate something. So, just that one, we have flaws, but they're actually strengths in God's hands. And then the second is getting to the point, just like he said, get to the
Yeah.
point. Get to the point. It's so much better, especially in this particular generation in which we live, where things are clipping along at a quick pace. You guys are the exception to the rule. You've logged in for a live stream of however long till we get done talking. You guys are the exception, but for the most part, everybody wants something short, snappy, to the point. And you have, let's add this on. I've belittled that mindset of 3 to 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes to get a point across. I'm like, how can you get meat and potatoes in that? But it's
Right.
not really that. You're giving an invitation for people to want to know more. You're saying, does this taste good? There's more where that came from. So
So good.
just
So
valuing
good.
that better.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, Danielle is over here saying that makes sense. The clarity and conciseness sound like a natural overflow from vlogging. And yes, and Diana saying, I'm thankful you both vlog. I have learned a lot and enjoy the content a ton. So that's awesome. Yeah, and even Diana saying that doing videos had made her such a better teacher and communicator. Do you like the floating coffee hand?
I love the floating. Where's my floating coffee hand? Babe! Tommy!
Your floating coffee hand is taking the dogs for a walk.
That's right. At
So I think she
7:27.
said 7:27, so she's been gone for about 11 minutes.
Yeah. How do you read mine as well? You're amazing. Okay, wait. Let's ask this. What size are y'all's youth or are y'all's congregations? That's what Dustin says. Dustin Damesworth.
Ooh, okay. So mine, of course, it's dependent on any given Sunday, but I would say we kind of average men, women, children combined. Anything that breathes in the church is right around 50.
Yep. And we're going to be in the ballpark of the same as far as people showing up on a Sunday, but we're about 120 souls on board. I have a leader who's always said, hey, you need to know how many people are under your care and under your shepherding and stewardship. So you need to give an account to the Lord. So you need to know who's on the plane. And that made sense to me because I came from a loadmaster world, aeronautical world, where you needed to know you were accountable for how many people went on and how many people came off. You needed to know who was there so you could count just in case something happened. So 120 some odd souls on board, best I can tell, with people coming and going.
So then that brings just a question for me. At what
Yes, sir.
point, once they've gotten off and not got back on, do you stop counting them?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I would say if we have, well, if you're a decent, that's terrible phrasing.
You're going to say decent pastor, and I'm going to go like,
No, if you're worth your salt, no. You have a constant ongoing relationship. After about 3 or 4 weeks of you hadn't seen somebody, you should probably be on the horn. We have a pretty grace-filled congregation where in summer months, people come and go. But if I haven't seen you in 3 or 4 weeks, we haven't had a meaningful conversation. I'm gonna be in your phone. I'm gonna be in your text, going, "Are we okay? Are we good? Is there anything we need to talk about?
Right.
Anything life's going on?" And if that continues to progress, we have distant conversations. Then, and I, haven't heard from you or heard that you're going. We are a small community. Heard that you're going to another church in town. There we go.
yeah.
It's going to come to a conversation of, do I need to transfer my spiritual covering over to Pastor Ed, Pastor Kurt, Pastor, who,
Right.
who, or are you not going anywhere? If so, come on.
Yeah. It's funny because
Love you, man.
I'll often go to different pastor conferences and meetings with other pastors, often different denominations and stuff. And it seems like that common question is, how many are you running? My typical response is, I'm running as many out the door as I possibly can. It's just like, I'm going to preach
so
the word.
true in our
And
business, though, isn't it?
the,
You would think it's all about like people coming in once they hear the word, but it's really like there is a living God getting ready to meet with you, and it truly feels like that sometimes. It's like,
Yeah.
who's left?
right. It does.
Just
And
say what you tell me.
and from two different perspectives. One, I want to run the people that don't want to actually hear the word in a life-changing fashion. I want to run them off. because I don't want them to think that it's okay to sit and listen to an anointed preaching, to hear the word of God and not actually apply it to your life. So if I'm naturally doing that, it should offend some people. And then the others, I want to run them off in a way that they have learned, they have grown, and now they're going out and starting something, doing something, if at all possible. So, but
I love that approach. We always tease it at our place at Grace. We're the last rung on the spiritual ladder. So if you've been tumbling down and you hit our rung, we're like, please, please, for the love of all that's good, you know, say yes this time. But
yeah.
unfortunately, that is not the case. That is not the
That's
case.
awesome. Hey, Sonic made it over to my channel from
Oh,
yours.
Sonic, get back over here. Where did you? Oh man.
Nope, he decided he wanted to come over here. So,
I'm just kidding.
I like that. Kyle Thompson over here saying, as pastors, who is your desired audiences for your channels, respectively? That you've made more sense in. That probably made more sense in my head. I think we understand. So, what is our target audience, especially when it comes to? You know what? Let's take this twofold. Let's actually build on this, Jared. And I'm going to throw the question to you first. So, who is your target audience for your church, and who is your target audience for your online digital ministry, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, whatever?
Sure.
Are they the same? Are they different?
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty similar by the time I get done talking this through, and I'm going to do my best to get to the point. So here's the point. At the church, we're looking for people who are able to hear the voice of the Lord and who are able to do it, which means they're free enough to do it. And they're somewhere in the process of that. They're somewhere in the desiring process of wanting to know what God sounds like, feels like, experience him in the Word, in the Spirit, all the different facets of who he is. And they want to be free enough from all of the bondage of the world, Satan ties, blah, 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 to express who he is to others. And so if you're anywhere in that process, we're willing to walk alongside you at the church. On the channel, the way we set this up was we actually thought in the beginning days, long story short, let's skip to the end. I have no idea. It's evolving, and we're finding that out, who our target audience is, every time we make a video, because it changes and moves and kind of mutates a little bit. But in the beginning days, we wanted to find people like us. I took a Tim Schmoyer type class, and he said you find your target audience, and they're usually a couple years behind yourself, and that's not necessarily in age, but in experience maybe, or in something that they're trying to tackle, and try and tell yourself what you wish that you knew. And so we started making videos about all of the things that we talk about in church, like hearing the voice of the Lord, how to step out in ministry, how to step out in faith, how to tackle some of these digital ministry challenges, and that's where we've been kind of grinding away for the last little bit. I will say, if I have the time to do so, that is changing as we get to meet and interact with the current audience. So we still kind of have a course set for, we want to be able to help somebody who's 6 months to 2 years behind where we are, what we've kind of grown and experienced. But that's changed in meeting you guys. What do you guys want to see? What do y'all want to know? What do y'all want to learn? You're asking questions, and it's changing the narrative of our channel. So that's my answer. Sorry, long-winded. Pastor Watt, your turn.
Sorry, long-winded Pastor. Okay, so for me, it's probably easier for me to define my YouTube online audience more than anything. And I've kind of talked to people about this where I've got like a target, and so there's a bullseye, and this is the ones that I aim precisely on. And those probably have the least amount of my videos directly aimed at them. But then as it goes broader, there's more that I would like to hit on the target. And then that broad, that's where a lot more of these videos are going to hit. So I would say I even narrowed it down so much as coming up with a name of this person that I'm looking at across the lens. And it's one that I picked that up from Amy Landino down at Video Marketing World last year. And I just named that guy Jay. Yes, I know it's a guy. And why did it wind up being this guy named Jay? because I've got so many people, men that I speak into their lives, that their names already start with the letter J, that I could envision them on the other side of that lens, which also helps with vlogging, because then I don't care if people see me holding a camera. I'm not talking to a camera. I'm talking to a human being. But that would be somebody that kind of hits the age of 25 to about 40, in that range. So typically somebody that is married, young in marriage, or about to be married, and also is a Christian already, just looking for some real spiritual guidance on how to take that next step in being a man of God. That being said, it then does branch out, and then it becomes anybody, male or female, that's kind of in that range. So even some of you that are watching this, it's funny because you can sit there and think, okay, I may not be that bullseye, but I am that outer circle where I'm a female in that 25 to 40 year range. And then you think the outer end of the target, and it's like, okay, well, I'm only 13, but it expands beyond there. And depending on the platform I'm on, the content is really geared more at that. So that's really what it is. It's people that are already Christians is kind of where I'm aimed at. The ones that are just really wanting to take that next step in their faith journey. And how do I actually apply what the Bible says into my life? When it comes to our church, really anybody that just needs an encounter with God and needs to experience his person, his power to transform their lives so that they will walk and live by faith. And that's really what it comes. And it's funny because as I say that, I sit here and I've seen so many of, our audience here on YouTube, and I've connected with them over on Instagram or on Twitter or on Facebook, on TikTok. And I start to see their faces, their profile pictures, and it's like, they are that target audience that I'm trying to reach. And then when I think about it from the church perspective, man, we've got them from like 8 to 80. And they are there, and they're primarily the people that are wanting to have that. Even people that aren't Christians already that are coming in, and they're just like, there's something missing in my life, and I know I need something. I'm hoping you have what I need. And I'm kind of sitting there feeling like, Peter and John, it's like, silver and gold I don't have, but what I do have, I'm going to get you. So here's Jesus.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So
that was fun.
My answer.
Did you have any unbelievers swing by your channel this season and ask some questions or do some trolling?
I did. I'm sure I had a few of them. Some of them. I love when I get the. I don't know if they're trolls. I don't know if they're just unbelievers trying to cause and stir some stuff up. I don't really care. I enjoy it. They're trying to get a reaction out of me, and it rarely works. So it's like they try something, and my response is, hey, thanks for coming over to my channel and leaving a comment, which actually helps the YouTube algorithm, so then they share my content with more people.
I think I told you about this, but I had a young man stop by my channel, and he was totally trolling. So I said, thanks for your comment, thinking the same thing. I'm like, thanks for your comment, boost the stats. But I realized he was actually asking a question, and it was like, oh, I totally misread what you were saying. He was wondering about certain fallacies and flaws in the word, and I thought it was a fantastic opportunity. He was really willing to open up and talk and converse about some stuff. So
I try to be as
color me surprised.
Yeah. I try to be as merciful and graceful as possible with them, because I don't know a lot of times whether or not they're just trying to stir the pot, or if they really have a question, or if I said something that they didn't agree with. And it's like, okay, I'm willing to give it a second sentence conversation, take this a little bit further just to see where they're at. Because if they're truly wanting to know, I'd be glad to help you.
Oh, yeah.
But if not, well, I'm not going to waste my time with you. And there have been a couple this season and last season that have come in that I didn't know where they were coming from. And some of that is just people's personalities. And then in the comments section, it's this nonverbal communication. All we get is just the written word. And so it's hard to understand, how were they conveying this? How were they presenting it? And so, yeah, it's tricky, but there have been a few that have just been kind of more divisive, and then others that, I mean, they were just wanting more information. And it's like, well, sure. So,
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. And PJ, I'll try and move my eyes around. She says it feels like you guys are staring at me. That's funny.
She said it feels like we're staring at you.
I've noticed this. You're right. I've noticed this as a pastor, though. Like, we sit down and talk with people all day long, every day, and so
Right.
you're trying to get to the heart of the matter, and you're like looking through the windows of the soul, trying to discern what's going on. And I find myself going, "Look away." Okay, yeah, look away, because otherwise you get so intense on something. So, okay, PJ, we'll look away for a minute. We'll
My
back on you.
typical reaction is from church, where I'll get 3 or 4 people every Sunday that are like, "Would you stop staring at me when you're preaching?"
Right.
So a couple of them, one of our friends from church, Jason, I choose to stare at him now. And so I'll just be in the middle of preaching and I'll look, and he's kind of got that look on his eye, and I'm like, take that. So, the things we do.
Augie!
Is Augie in the house over there?
Augie's over here. Check mine out.
He's over there. How did my phone, I put my phone away so it stopped.
Augie, you're not far off.
Me. Ooh.
You're not far off.
I'm going back. Dustin mentioned this thing, and actually, here's a great one for Danielle. When we were talking about the divisiveness of sometimes we preach and it does offend people, she threw out this great Thomas Paine quote: "He who doesn't offend cannot be honest."
Yep.
Word. Let's see. Then Dustin said that he kind of liked that approach that I use about looking into the lens. He said it's kind of like wrestling the invisible man. You have to imagine somebody. I can confirm. Before a wrestling show, I had a brief match against the invisible man, and it was a blast, and I lost. Couldn't see him coming. So. Good stuff. Looking to see if we got some other stuff here.
All good stuff on my end. I don't see any questions, just lots of support. Thank you, Danielle.
No, I think I just saw a question.
Did you? Am I missing one?
Well, it was from Augie. It was like a question disguised as a statement. Vlog Pastors 3.0 now
wrong.
with 6 pastors who vlog.
I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. I know we've discussed something. I don't know how much you want to.
I don't know. How much do we want to share with them of what we've talked about Vlog Pastors?
That's your call. I'll leave that to you. Let's just say, how about this? We've kicked some ideas around, and you wouldn't be far off. Just an expansion off of it being Joshua and myself.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah. We're
looking into that.
Coming into season 2, I got a lot of people reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, I would love to be a part of this. Are you interested? Would this be a fit?" And some of them, and here I'll just kind of put this out there for those that may be watching this and hearing it. Part of it, and this comes with collaborating, period. So this can be not just YouTube specific, but I even think of this about being church related. So I think of the collaboration aspect when I'm bringing in guest ministers. I won't bring just anybody else in. I want people that come in that have a similar heart and maybe a similar approach, at least to the word and how they present the word. It doesn't have to be specifically like me. I prefer when it's not. I prefer there to be difference in gifts and different anointings on there. But I want to make sure that the care for the scriptures is coming from a similar stance, as well as the care for my congregation is there. And so a lot of that comes from building friendships, listening to people, making sure that they're in a similar vein. There are certain denominational differences that are kind of obvious. I mean, a Southern Baptist church isn't going to ask me to come in as a Pentecostal and start preaching on tongues. I mean, they're just not going to do that. They may say, hey, would you be willing to come in and preach on this or on that? And in those situations, absolutely. But then when it comes to like YouTube collaborations, I found that the most effective collaborations I've done are people that have similar styles, similar formats, and take similar care to the entirety of what's going on. So one, it being Vlog Pastures, I would want it to be a pastor who vlogs. I'm not saying that my quality is here and that everybody else is here, and so if they're here, they can't be there. That's not what I'm saying at all. I would just want to say that with my audience, I really do care about them, and I want to make sure if I'm introducing somebody to them, they have a similar approach to the styles that we do. So when people say, hey, I'm telling you, go over and check out Trent Granger, go check out Jared Brown, go check out Jason Mayfield, go check out Trey Van Camp, go check out Diana Gladney. When I'm telling people to go visit these channels, it's because I know they're going to get similar to what I'm doing. So when it comes to Vlog Pastors, we've talked about this, and it's wanting other pastors that are kind of similar. Not exact, but similar. So there have been some that have reached out. They're not similar. And then there's others that have reached out, and they are similar. We're just not ready to do that in season 2.
Here's the thing on this. Because part of this is for the video maker and for the pastor. It is a lot. We talked about this early on. We wouldn't want to do that to the unsuspecting person who says, I want to jump into Vlog Pastors season 3 with you. It's monumental. Yeah. Josh. Yeah. No, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. It is a learning curve, and there needs to be like a walking alongside type of an experience, because it is a lot to bite off. That's it. The end.
Yeah. No, I'm interested in seeing what we can come up with, because we have talked about this. We've talked about when we do a season 3, if you watched our last vlog, or if you are reading Jared's lips right now, I say if, he says
sorry,
when.
babe.
Jessica's going to come in and throw something at him in just a moment.
You'll see this door back here if it opens.
She's already threatened to hide all of his camera gear, so. Now, and I would just pray, Jared, that if we do a season 3, your third monthly vlogging challenge goes better than my third month.
Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know why you didn't like it. Maybe it's old hat, but
again, like I said at the top of the hour, it was week 4 was the roughest for me. The first 3, they weren't bad. They weren't bad at all. So, but
got a few more questions in. Do you want to take them, or do you want to finish this one?
Go ahead and take them. I think throw them out there.
Okay. Dustin S., what'd y'all cook this Labor Day weekend? I smoked ribs, you punk. Ribs, chicken, ham, burgers. Yeah, rub it in. Rub it in, Dustin. No, we just got an Instapot, I think is what they call it. And Jesse cooked some chicken in the Instapot for the first time. So,
yes.
There you go.
It's like from frozen to fully done in like 20 minutes.
Amazing. I mean, amazing.
Yeah. Genevieve did some in we got a combo Instapot air fryer that Ninja makes, and she made some chicken wings.
It's borderline witchcraft is what it is.
Somebody sent me some nasty Da Bomb hot sauce. No bueno.
Hey, that was meant as a celebration gift or possible video idea if you wanted to join in, but no. I'm sorry, man.
Somebody should have put on the warning label, 1 drop at a time.
Has a nuclear warning symbol on it. I'm pretty sure.
Well, yes, it said this was hot. I didn't realize don't smother it.
I saw how much you put on there. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, I've had smarter moments in my life. What else you got? Give me another one.
Okay,
Oh wait,
Augie,
I
I'm gonna
didn't
do my
answer that.
best with this one.
We didn't
Did you?
do. What did we do over Labor Day weekend? Well, today's Labor Day. We didn't do anything really today. She's got chicken that's in there from the air fryer and the Instapot, but I haven't had any yet. I'm talking to you guys.
20s. 20s. Okay. Augie asks, question, what's the vision of taking a combined community to grow each other as well? What do you mean by that? Does that make I need
He
a little bit more
said,
on that one, Augie.
What's the vision of taking
Hmm.
a combined community
To
to
grow.
grow each other as well?
Do you mean in our channels? Is that what you're asking? Are you talking about in general in a church?
Grow
Grow
your
your communities.
communities that are both your channels.
Oh, yeah, I'll hop on that one while you think for a second.
There
You
you go.
can give the
Let my
actual
brain.
response. Yeah, mine will be the knee jerk, as I always do. Here's my knee jerk reaction to that one, Augie. I think this is still the Wild West, man. I think relationships have always been formed in the same way. We spend time together. If we could break bread together, that would be amazing. But we spend time together. We talk. There's dialogue between people. There's prayer. There's just this, you know, koinonia type thing. I throw that word out there, but to say there's a life on life that's happening. And how are we going to do that? How are we going to implement that? I don't know. It's still the Wild West. We're coming up with some pretty creative ways, I think, with this vlog pastures thing. Because individually, my channel, I don't have enough interaction currently with you guys standalone. It's not built into my videos. But this vlog pastor series is a really clever way that God's put on our hearts to involve y'all. So that way you know what? I wake up to try and read a text from either Sonic or Deb Verwers, to be honest. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why that matters. I don't know why that matters that I get excited whenever Augie pops in the feed. I don't know why that
Yep.
matters. I
Yep.
think that's the community that we're talking about. And the more that you want to hop in? Well, we
Agreed. I was going
talk.
to say, I love when, Eric or Kelly reach out. That's amazing. Augie. And there's others that we had prior to that. I mean, I think we both kind of knew
Yeah, yeah,
Augie
yeah.
and Sonic. And so, and like Harley, sitting there in my chat, these are great interactions. I think for me, the kind of the vision of the combined growth, one, there's this the thing with growing on YouTube is I truly believe that YouTube, yes, it's still the wild, wild west, but it also is the biggest and best opportunity that the body of Christ has in promoting and propelling the gospel. And I think
That's
we
good.
need as many people as possible on the platform. And in order for that to happen, there are channels that are going to have to grow. And Jared and I've talked
Bruh.
about this. At one point, we know it's going to happen where we're going to kind of hit this certain level, and all of these younger vlog pastors are going to come up and start just skyrocketing past us, and we're going to be celebrating and be like, go, get it, kill it.
Yep. I'm
And
taking a nap.
yeah, and right, be like, do it. So for me, I think the vision, especially with like vlog pastors, one, there's the personal channel growth that, yes, I want to see that grow. But that's only going to grow when people actually connect and resonate. So there's the personal aspect. What do I get out of it? There's the other aspect. What can Jared get out of it? And then ultimately, what do you guys get out of it? And I think the more exposure that all of us as the body of Christ have from different walks of faith, different people walking out Christ. I'm a faith guy. And so my favorite chapter in the book of the Bible is Hebrews 11. And I sit there and I think there's, what, if I remember right, 22 different by faith passages in that passage. And it's like, by faith, this person did that, or they received that, or they achieved this. Those type of stories from all the different people, from Abraham to Moses to Sarah to Gideon and Barak and Rahab, all the different people from all the different walks of life are able to share how they live out their faith. It helps build up our faith. And so that's where, for me, it's like if I can get other pastors to start sharing with my audience and for me to start sharing with theirs about what God's doing in me and through me, it's for their benefit.
That's good.
I hope that worked.
Hey, Josh.
What do you think, Augie? Is that good?
Hey, Josh, just to hop in there real quick.
Yes.
I am about to die on battery, which means I may hop out of the stream. I may have to shut her down. Just giving you a heads up, man. I don't know what happened with this battery.
No replacement batteries either?
I do have replacement batteries, but will it kick me out of the stream? Questions I have for you.
It probably will. And if you do, well then just swap a battery out and call me back on Skype and we'll figure it out. So I'll just swap. So all they will see is me for a little bit, which means I will hijack your channel and I will have my way with it.
Okay.
So what I should do, what would be really fun, is if I asked you a question while you're talking and then it cuts out on you. So there were actually a couple of them, and I want to see if I can find them again.
Dustin, I will be sending you my cell as soon as I figure out how to do that.
I'll forward you on his number.
Your number. Yeah, I was going to say, don't post your number on here, man.
Dustin, tell me which number you want him to have. I'll send it to him, and he can send it to you.
Which number? Dustin, come on, man.
Yeah, he's got a couple of them. Let me look. Okay, so here, I'm going to see if this will play. This was an audio question that I got. I hope this works. Let's try this. Oop, hold on.
I hear nothing. I hear nothing. 9.
Okay.
How is there so many different races today? Question of the day. You should blog about this.
You can hear that, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's try this again.
Okay, I have a question. If Noah and his family were the only ones to survive the ark, how is there so many different races today? Question of the day.
Restroom break.
So the question was,
Josh, why don't you tackle that one?
If Noah and his family were the only ones to survive the ark, how are there so many races today? So do you want to tackle that one, or you want me to tackle that one? I can tackle that one. Oh, you got it? Okay. See, this was Annabelle. She's from our church, and she had sent this trying to stump. And I was like, ooh, we'll do that on the live stream. And she's like, well, did I stump you? And I was like, oh, no, that's an easy one. That's like a softball question.
Go ahead, softball.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, so here's the simplicity of it is, one, you have to think, if you actually know how children are procreated, well, that's what happens. Yes, that would be incest? Absolutely. But you got to remember, things aren't bad until God says it's bad. And when that happened, he hadn't said it was bad. So it isn't bad, which means it wasn't sin. Now it would be. However, here's the other flip side of it. What happens biologically, physiologically? Often we call it genetic mutation, when there are chromosomes that are very similar that start reproducing. And so I would venture to say, because of that, you wind up getting the variations in melanin and pigments of skin and bone structures and all of that. But yet we do find out that no matter what the outside looks like, each and every one of us, we still look the same on the inside.
Oh, that's good.
So, hey, that's my answer. What would you say, Jared? Did I do a good softball, or was I playing with T-ball?
You nailed it, man. I don't have anything to add to that. I would just, like you were talking about. I mean, you're talking about how do you an undiluted pool further up the stream of human genetics and whatnot. So you're going to see a lot of different variations. I would say yes and amen. I'm getting a lot of text messages. Are these you? Are these
no, they're
church?
not me. I'm not texting you. Your church people love you.
They do love me. Let me turn them off for a second. Usually, I mean, you get your random text, but whenever people give you a bunch of texts in a row, you're like, wait a minute. Did something happen?
Okay, so you think that one's good? I'll give you her follow-up, which is also about Noah.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
When and who brought evil back into the world after Noah's ark?
That's beautiful.
Oh, now, here, let me just throw this out of clarification. When you see Jared and I kind of smiling and smirking and laughing and giggling, it's not at anybody or the question. This is often because we, at one point, asked these exact same questions, and we had similar questions to this, and so it takes us back a decade or two, right?
A decade or two is generous, because I remember at the end of my internship sitting down with a mentor pastor, that was Pastor David, and sitting down across the table from him and saying, okay, I don't feel like I understand anything anymore, because the more you dive into the Word, the more you feel like you don't know what's happening. I mean, the Holy Spirit, he'll breathe on things and he'll bring clarity and confirmation about stuff, but like when you're just getting into it, I had to ask him, okay, from the top, who is Jesus? Let's break this down. How was he born again? Wait, okay, so who is the Holy Spirit? Now, hold on. Can you break that one down for me a little bit more? Okay, so wait a minute. Where did sin come from? And all of those things, tearing them down to their basic fibers, it's what we have to do. Actually, I had a young lady come up at church. Hopefully this isn't too much of a rabbit trail. I had a young lady come up at church and she said, I'm wrestling with this stuff. And my response was good. Kind of like the Joshua Harris video. It's like, good. We need to wrestle with these things. We need to get to the meat and potatoes, the deep core issues, and find out for ourselves, have God breathe into those recesses and give clarity. Show us in the Word what is going on, so it's sure in our hearts. And so, do you want me to tackle the Noah question, or do you want to go first?
Jump on it. Sure.
Okay. Sin didn't leave. Evil didn't leave. It's not necessarily. I don't know how you put this, but it's a part of fallenness. It's a part of the fallen world. It's a part of the fallenness of man. Mm-hmm. It is a part of our birthright, our natural human birthright, that we're born into iniquity. We're born into a propensity to do certain things, and so it's only through the death, burial, resurrection, the freedom through Christ, believing Jesus is who he says he is, that we get to have a new life, a restored, renewed, sin-washed, cleansed life with him. Yeah. So whoever is born, any baby that is born, whether he restarts the world or not tomorrow, will have a sin nature intact until they meet Jesus, until he washes them white as snow.
Amen. Love it, love it, love it.
And you would add?
I would add absolutely nothing. That was when I saw who and when. Well, nobody brought it back in because it never left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was just the wickedness of all humanity that had grown so great it couldn't escape God's wrath is why the flood came. And there just happened to be 8 people left over that because of one.
You know what's beautiful about that? That what he's getting ready to say right there, and I can't even control myself. Is that God is so good. He's searching the earth that if he just finds one person, he'll spare the whole shooting match, and he finds one in Noah. That just testifies of how great God is. Man, that gets me all amped up.
This is where it can take your whole understanding of God's forbearance to a completely another level. When you realize, one, that God was willing to withhold that for one person.
Yeah.
That's how important one person is, and that's how powerful one person's impact can be. So for those of you that are watching, that are sitting there thinking, well, I'm not Jared, I'm not Josh, I don't have, hundreds of subscribers, I don't preach in front of, how many people every single week, I don't have these opportunities. No. Are you coming in contact with one person? Ooh. Because you could be that one person that changes them in such a radical way that changes the course of all of our society, our culture. Just that one person to be that spark. That's what God's looking for. One person. Just be that one.
Preach. We'd have it. I know. We'd have a time at the end of this live stream where Josh lays hands on us and we, oh man, good stuff.
Oh yeah, so good. So, hey, have you got other questions? Throw another one at me. I think I just gave you a couple.
Some of these, lost corded headsets. They've got to go. Oh man. Okay, Eric McAllister.
Are we getting to Eric's question on church
Man,
discipline?
yes. I mean, do you want to tackle that here? Or do you want to wait for? I'm making videos about most of these, so we'll go into depth in the videos. But man, do you want to
Read the
take it?
question again.
He wants to know. Basically, he wants to know, what does church discipline really look like? He wants to know how you, and then he'll get on to discipleship. But what does it look like? Has it changed? Is it the same in this day and age? What does church discipline look like?
Man. See
Nah.
that's a can of worms. We could answer, what
It
does it look
depends,
like?
man.
What should it look like? Or maybe what would be more appropriate is, what does it look like in our respective churches? That may be the more appropriate way of doing this, because then it kind of puts us in a place of not saying this is the only way to do it, because we also have to take into consideration there's so many subtle nuances. Yes, we obviously need to apply the Bible first and foremost, but there are also things that happen when it comes to law, when it comes to culture, when it comes to society. There's all these different variations in there. So I would sit there, and I could only speak at this as to our church, with the limited opportunities that we've had for church discipline and how that looks. Every single time I try to take the Matthew 18 approach, where Jesus says, if a brother sins against you, you need to go to him, just you and him first. If that doesn't work, then take a couple other people who are really respected and try to do that. If that doesn't work, you take it before the whole church. And then, treat them like a sinner and a tax collector. It's like, at that point, they just need to go find someplace else. I can only think of one opportunity, one time that it's ever kind of resulted in that far, but it didn't even come to the church. It came to this person and me having this conversation, and it was about them wanting to teach something in the church that I had said, no, we don't believe that. We don't teach that. You're going to be creating a huge stumbling block, and you're sinning against me as the pastor because you're causing my sheep to go astray. So this is wrong. Addressed it. Seemed like it was well received. Come to find out, it didn't happen. Then I had another conversation with him, and this was somebody in the church that said, hey, he actually pulled me aside, after service and wanted to start, talking to me about this. And I was like, okay, I'll take care of it. So then I grabbed another pastor that we had and another one on staff, and it was like, hey, let's go over, and we talked to him and said, this is going to stop. And you're either going to stop it right now, or I'm going to stand up in front of the church, let them know what you've been doing, why I think it's wrong, and they're either going to say I'm wrong or you're wrong, and then we'll see where you go from there. At that point, he said, no, I'm not going to anymore. I think it's probably just time for me to leave. And I bid him adieu. So that would be it. The only other nuance that came was then he tried to have his dad actually start. Ooh, okay, so Jared just bumped out here. We're going to flip over. So then what he tried to do is actually have his dad then do some of this teaching in a roundabout way, because his dad was still attending our church. And some of it came from a book that he was trying to promote, which was a funny little story when the president of our ministerial association happens to be there to be a guest minister, and this is taking place. And so it's like, okay, he shows up, Jim Caseman shows up, this father hands him this book, which Jim Caseman looks at, reads the inside cover, throws it in the trash, finds me and says, Josh, we need to have a talk. So it's like, okay, that becomes at that point where it needed to be going a little bit farther. And I just explained to his dad. I didn't treat him as dad like it was him, but I told him, your son and I, we've had this conversation. This can't happen anymore. If you want to keep trying to, come here with this, by all means, we love to have you. But this is a teaching that we will not accept in our church and ministry. And if you can't accept that, then you might be wanting to find another place to go worship. So that's kind of the way that we've taken this, and kind of the way that I've approached it. I kind of knew that what was going to happen was Jared's camera was going to cut out at one point. He had mentioned that, and so sure enough, it just happens to cut out at this moment. But hold on, I gotta turn that down. So he'll probably jump back in here in just a little bit. While he's doing that, yeah, Diana saying, geez, people and their agendas. Yeah, and it was kind of sad. I haven't had very many other things. Have there been people in the church that have said things that as a pastor need discipline, need maybe correction would be the right word for it? Yes, those have happened. And when that happens, I try to give as much grace as possible. Because I figure, especially if the individual themselves, if they're the ones that are bringing this back to my attention, if these individuals are the ones saying, hey, there's something that I did, there's a mistake that I made, and now, you know what, I need some help. If they're willing to kind of give that, at least that knowledge that has like a repentant heart that something was wrong there, man, I'm going to pour out all the grace as possible and be like, what can I do to help you so that this doesn't happen again? So that's kind of where I'd be at. So, hey, Jared, you back? Is your audio working and everything?
I think I am. Am I here?
He's good. We like that. So, yeah, I kind of just wrapped that up, that question. So that was perfect. Good timing. How about you guys, you with your church discipline? I mean, what's your approach on that?
Oh, discipline's a wonderful thing. No, yeah, discipline's a wonderful thing. I mean, obviously, a legitimate child is disciplined. I think we always take it to a weird place of, that means excommunication. That's where everybody's mind wants to go. We want to go to excommunication as quickly as possible. Should we or shouldn't we? But that's much further down the road. There needs to be discipline. There needs to be order. There needs to be correction in the body. We need iron sharpening iron. We need all of that. We need to stay under covering and authority. There's a huge piece to all of this. And if there's not somebody in our authority system inside of the church, the elders, the deacons, the leaders, the pastors, the whoever who's looking after and caring for the flock and able to say no, then you're not a legitimate son or daughter. I mean, you have to, that's part of the process. But if we do happen to, in our church, if we do happen to have stuff, I'll just give you the quick run through. If it's a public matter, we treat it publicly. If it's a private matter, we treat it privately. On top of what Joshua, I'm sure, just told you. If it's somebody who hops up from the stage or stands up in the congregation or writes a letter or makes a video and says, whatever it is, you guys don't represent Jesus, or if it's some sort of public matter, then we deal with it publicly. And before the entire congregation, we will deal with it. And if it's a private matter, it's a private thing that they say, hey, I don't enjoy this, then we run through the Matthew 18 thing. Have you gone to your brother? Have you gone to the elders? What have the elders said? Now let's take it a step further. We do all of that stuff. But if it's publicly, if you're some Wild West, guy, and you stand up, you come in off the streets, or you come in, well, not really off the streets because you're just a crazy person. But if you come in out of the brotherhood and you say, look, this is how it is, then we get to stand up and say, look, this is how it ain't. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, Danielle is saying that, discipline without relationship is abuse. Agree or disagree? I would say I think I know where you're going with this. I'm not sure I would use necessary relationship, but I would use care. So discipline without care is abuse. And I think it comes to the difference between hurting and harming. And if you don't care for somebody, you will harm them, or you can harm them. But if you care for somebody, you could still hurt them. And so that's where discipline can be hurtful, but it shouldn't be harmful. I know we're getting into semantics. We're playing on words, and it's
not
those
really,
subtle
though.
Nuances. But I think that's what I'm getting from you, Danielle, is that you're saying that relational care, that you actually care for somebody and that you can relate to them. That, I think, is definitely an important aspect of it. I would just sit there, and the only reason I say that it's not necessarily a relationship is having been a school bus driver where day one, I may have to discipline somebody on the bus and I have no relationship with them. But the reason I'm disciplining them is because I care for them, I care for myself, and I care for the safety of everybody involved. And so sometimes that has to happen. But I think the other aspect is maybe how the discipline is versus church discipline versus just discipline in the church, which can be two different things. When I think of church discipline, I think, how do we discipline the body of Christ? How are we disciplining the members of our local body versus how do we provide discipline inside the church walls? Where, like Jared is saying, or like we had at our church, where a guy walks in off the street, sits down front row and starts yelling and shouting at me in the middle of my sermon about, I don't know, being a heretic and Jesus committing suicide and I don't know what other crazy things. And eventually it was like, dude, you need to sit down. You need to shut up. You can either listen to the word or you can get out. And then, of course, when he decided to step up again, well, then it was the pastor taking care of the flock and grabbing that guy and escorting physically out the building. So,
flashback to the wrestling days.
Yeah, I would have. Our security team, the couple of them definitely could have had it, but they probably would have been more forceful than I would have been. I did actually. The one sitting in the front row, right across the aisle from him, I was like, I got this.
Yep.
So, but those type of things. Again, this care comes in. I did that because I cared for our church. And when I came back in after showing that guy the front door, I saw the look on many of our members' faces. They were visibly shaken and disturbed at that type of an outburst. And that's another scenario where it's like, okay, anything I was planning on preaching is completely out the window. Now we're going to take this opportunity to show them how much I really care for them and put a God spin on this, scenario. So there we go.
And Danielle, there's another facet to that. One, as the bus driver, we'll use that scenario. Yep. As the bus driver, nobody likes this, but he's the adult. He's the authority figure. We always dance around authority. Whenever he says sit down, it's for your own safety. It's because he's been trained. He's been taught how to avoid certain scenarios. So I'm thinking about in my own church, if we have an issue inside of the church, we may have to bump it up to leadership that is above our church or a council of leaders that are above our church. They don't necessarily have the relationship with all of the individuals in it, but they have the authority to rule and speak into.
Right.
And it's a part of it.
So good. So good. Hey, I got another question. This came from my nephew, Jonas. I don't know if he wanted me to say it was from him, but it's from him anyways. Question for Vlogust. If you want to use it, I just don't really want to send it through video. Do you guys think that we tend to give Satan too much credit as what he can do?
Oh,
and
man.
A follow-up question, how much power do you think he has on Earth?
Don't get me started on this one, Jonas. Oh, man. Dude.
So,
poking on my hot buttons.
We got two questions there. How about you take one, I take one, your choice. Which one do you want? Do you think we give Satan too much power?
Yes.
And, okay. And how much power do you think he has on Earth? See, that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, I'll let you do that one. Do I think we give, because I'll go on for hours. Do I think that we give Satan too much credit? Entirely too much credit. Entirely too much credit. I don't know how many believers and non-believers alike. I'll say, that Satan, boy, he's got me down. Boy, he's got me whipped. Boy, I tell you what. Boy, he's just around. Boy, enough already. He's not omnipresent. He's not omnipowerful. He's limited at best. He's a defeated foe. Come on. Let's just put our feet on the throat and finish the job. That's not to say he doesn't deserve respect, because he and his minions do know your grandparents, and they do know the pattern of sin that is against your family and your life that is most effective. But they're not around every bush. They're not in every closet and every. Come on.
Yep.
No, entirely too much power. And honestly, if something goes wrong, we immediately contribute it to Satan rather than a learning curve or something, a refining process or something that could be used ultimately for good. Because everything, even what Satan does, is going to be bent around and turned around for your good and God's glory.
Yep.
Way too much.
So the second part of this is, how much power does Satan have on earth? Here's the thing. I look at this. Satan has... I don't know if I would use the word power necessarily as authority. Again, semantics. But Satan has authority to move, to operate, to do whatever he wants, whatever he pleases currently. His time is rapidly approaching where his reign as the God of this earth, as the scripture calls him, that reign is winding down. His time is about up, and at that point he won't have any. However, currently he still has all of the authority, all the power to go ahead and do what he pleases. That being said, Jesus defeated him. He stripped that power to the point that he has it. Now, Satan still has a legal right to try to exercise that. Not the power, but he's got the authority to move. And then Jesus says, hey, because I've stripped him and I have all the keys to the kingdom and hell and death and everything, go in that power. Go with that authority. So any authority he would have, we've got it. So I would venture to say, yes, we give him too much credit, because most of the problems... Maybe not most. Many of the problems we have, we get ourselves into. And I just say that because I have this father-child mentality that I look at everything through, God being our father, we being his kids, and then I take it back and I look at it with my kids, and there's a gnat flying around my face. So I'm looking at my kids, and it's like, it doesn't matter how many times I tell them, don't do that, they always do that.
Yeah.
And then when I look at the body of Christ, no matter how many times God has told us, don't do that, we keep doing that. And then we wonder, why does it hurt when I put my hand on the hot stove? Why does it hurt when I tried to play with temptation? Why does it...
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
That's my thoughts. What do you guys think? So,
tater casserole, Sonic, my man.
Tater casserole. Is that what he said? Tater casserole.
He just made tater casserole. Somebody celebrate.
Good, nice. All right, you got another one?
What's your plan for making discipleship intentional?
Ooh. Plan for making discipleship intentional. Okay, so here's where I may go back on my words of discipline not having a relationship. Because all of a sudden, this one, I hear discipleship, I think discipline, but the best discipleship actually has a relationship component to it. So what is my plan for making discipleship intentional? It doesn't, and it can't really come through this online circle. I think online is a supplement to what should be happening outside and in the local church.
Face to face.
Yep, face-to-face stuff. In our church, I am, and I do try to be very intentional with the discipleship. So we have individuals and couples that my wife and I meet with on a regular basis, that we're talking to on a regular basis. We're just making ourselves a part of their lives and them a part of our lives. Just really getting to know them, helping to make sure that they know how much we care for them. So then when they need to know our knowledge, then they know we care. It's that John Maxwell thing. People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And once they've seen the care, once we've built those relationships, then they start reaching out. Then we're able to start disciplining them a little bit more with the word. So that's kind of, the plan. How about you?
Yeah. Same here. A mentor pastor friend of mine. That's a bunch of things. But he said, he's older. He's about 84 or so. He said, I don't think people could remember more than a handful of sermons that I ever preached. but they seem to get a lot out of the life on life interaction. He said, I wish if I could go back in time, I would preach less and love more. And
Yeah.
I that's where my heart is for discipleship. To be intentional, if I take all of the strategies and stuff away from it, I want to make sure that this is so strong that it spills out over into this, and I
Right.
make this as available as humanly possible. And I'm a big fan of Jesus doing his own discipleship training.
Yeah.
If he led me to himself, I'm pretty sure he's got the rest of this figured out.
Right.
I do want to do my share in making sure that people see or model good teaching, all of that stuff. But if this is good and this is available, I think he's going to take care of the rest.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally, totally agree. Hey, just a little side note. I think your screen kind of hazes over a little bit. It might be
Uh-oh.
when you alt out of a window or something, depending on where you're at. I don't know. Just letting you know if you might play
Do I
with
need
it.
do I need to tweak it now or is it good?
No, it's still got a little bit of a gray box on it for my... It's not a huge deal, but it could just be on my end. No, it kind of looks like it's online too. But
Okay.
not super worried about it. Yeah, and I think over on your channel it was PJ that was saying discipleship is why I drive 3 hours one way and live with my pastor and his wife on the weekends, dude. Absolutely. And that's the thing, that
It's
discipleship,
amazing.
it requires discipleship. Here's the to be intentional about discipleship, because it's a disciplined relationship, it requires both parties to be intentional. So it requires me as the discipler to be intentional about trying to invest into them, and them about the disciple being intentional about letting me do that. And that's, I think, the other component, that there are a lot of people that I've had over the years that have asked me to provide discipleship for them. And I will start and they won't receive it. And then I stop. Because it's like, I'm not effective if you're not going to let me do what I believe needs to be done, to speak to the areas that I think needs to be spoken to. And so then at that point, it's like, I think you need to find somebody else. I just may not be the one for you. And that's not good nor bad, unless we're forcing that relationship, and then it is bad because it's not going to be effective.
Yeah.
There you go.
I agree. There's a lot in the mentor-mentee relationship. Like it's the job of the mentor to say, show up at 8 o'clock and I will disciple you. I will mentor you, whatever it is. And whenever the mentee shows up and the mentor's not there, 3, 4, 5 times down the road, you would say, well, that's frustrating. Where's the mentor? If the mentee isn't ready to show up again the next morning at 8 o'clock,
Yep.
we have I say that because we have a young man who he's being discipled by Jason. He's the worship leader in our church, and he said, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow at 8." Well, Jason got caught up in stuff, and I didn't know the guy was coming in. I said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And he said, I'm supposed to be here." Jason said to meet me at 8. I said, "Well, why are you here?" "I don't know." "What are you guys gonna do?" "I don't know." "Is he coming later?" "I don't know. He just said to be here at 8." That young man is ready to be discipled.
Exactly.
He's ready.
Yep. He's there. That's great. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Harley saying that he saw the gray overlay, but the gray overlay just went away. Good job.
Did it?
It did.
Hey.
I don't know what it was doing. So, hey, there's one over here from Kyle Thompson. He says, what is your favorite part of the video making process?
Kyle, that's good.
Run with it.
Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, okay. I like when things are flowing and you have a solid train of thought and you feel like the Lord is on a moment and you're recording it. There's nothing better than that. You're just flowing in it. Fantastic. I love the video part. And then I will skip ahead and say I love the edit when you're in the zone and you're wrapping it up and you get to hit finish. What's it called? Export.
Yes.
When you're exporting, those are my favorite parts.
I will say my favorite part just changed in Vlogust. The favorite part for me is when I have that creative inspiration and I want to do something and I want to see it come about, and it's like I've got the idea and the vision for it. I execute it, and then it gets the response that I myself had from somebody else.
That's interesting.
That's where, so like I had this moment, and here's why, again, why the zombie video was one of my favorite. So I had this weird song, and it's got this weird little beat to it. And we're transitioning because I had just spit out my coffee and I said, now I need to go get a new one. And so we went to Starbucks and I order what I always order is a venti pike. But there's a brief pause when I say venti pike in between the tea and the pike. There's just this brief moment. And as I heard that in the edit, I was like, you know what? I could actually make venti pike hit the beat if I just take that little bit out. So I took that little beat out. And then I get up in the morning. I slept in a little bit that day. And so I get up and I come walking out, and there are my two daughters walking around the room going, venti pike, dome, dome, venti pike, dome, dome. Those little moments. Or again, jumping in the car and the hat falls. And I get people like, good. Dude, how did you do that with the hat? Those little things. And sometimes it's just the little words that we'll say. Like we'll have those moments, like you're saying, when we're just in the flow. But it's like this thing that God has put on our heart, and it's like this one phrase. And we say that, and then we look at the comments, and people are catching that.
You got it.
So it's like when they catch what we're hoping they catch, that's my favorite part of the video process. It's also my favorite part of preaching, when they catch what I am hoping they catch.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is, I don't know, I think I did one sermon. My mom will still talk about this, where if I say God is, she's like, good. Now, I hammered that in this sermon like 20 times. And it was like, no, I don't think. One of the ladies in our church, she's like, God is so good, he's the goodest, and there ain't none gooder. Because that's what I said. And she's like, it's not grammatically correct, but it made the point.
Yeah.
You know. And then I get other people that will sit there and they'll just love when I, quoted the great prophet Taylor Swift about haters are going to hate, so just shake it off. So it's like,
it's always fascinating what people hang on to. But you guys are getting it. Just to illustrate your point. I mean, PJ, Sonic. I mean, not that you would need to pick up anything, but you guys are in the same zone that we are. Like when we're saying it, you're getting it, you're responding, you're putting the text in. It's just confirmation for us that what the Lord was saying to us in that video, what we needed to put across, how we edited it, it resonated with you guys, and y'all are bringing that confirmation. It's just a beautiful. Now I see why it's your favorite. That's good.
There's so much to that.
That's beautiful.
There's those little things that happen inside the video that often will get overlooked, but the people that are invested and they're paying attention, they catch those. That's the moment. It's like, man, just
What's also fun is putting words in your wife's mouth. Just
that is hilarious.
That was fun.
That's
I
beautiful.
could have spent 30 minutes on that. My husband. Oh man.
When I saw you do that, I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that?
That was the mild version. Trust me. I had so much fun with that.
I still can't watch my video when she says Burger King without losing it. I still nonstop just thinking about it. It's perfect. So yeah, these are some.
Like that, it forces
the what?
Oh.
Yeah.
It forces my earbuds out, or whatever these are called, my earplugs out.
Laughing.
Just thinking about that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I love that stuff. That video was so much fun.
Great idea. Great idea, dude. That was hilarious.
Those are also the moments that I think it really helps people. And hey, you guys let us know when Jared and I do those things that it is not biblical, it is not a scriptural teaching, but it is just human personality coming through. Do you guys enjoy it? Is that fun? Does it help you to relate to us a little bit more? Because I think that's really why I like doing that stuff. I think it does help people relate. But I don't know.
I'm curious. I think we're on maybe not total different spectrum on this one, but I do tend to navigate towards goofy and ludicrous in my videos, I feel like, and yours seem to have more of a concise point. So how do you feel about all that? Do you like making those types of videos? I know the one with our wives, that was fun, but the ones where they ask us the deeper questions about personality and quirks, do you enjoy those?
All right, say it again.
Oh, it was a multi-part question, wasn't it?
Yes, you had my brain going 3 different directions.
Do you like making the personal videos? Like, or is that difficult for you? Like, I don't know.
It depends on which one it is. Like
I noticed last season. Yeah, that one. Go ahead.
Last season, I hated making that video when I was making it.
It was beautiful.
It was the moment you asked it. God dropped that video in my heart. I saw beginning to end how the edit and everything was going to go. Just like that. So it was fun in making that come about. Yeah, you hear my train going, silly train. No, so I enjoy that aspect of it. I enjoy the process. I enjoy when people have commented, and I had several people that had commented on that and appreciated it and thanked me for it and how much that it really helped and spoke to them. That I enjoy. But the moment of being vulnerable and exposure, no, that's not fun. No.
See, that's fun because that's where we differ. I enjoy that moment. I enjoy that moment of vulnerability. I like the idea of not having any walls. Now, are they uncomfortable? For sure, because you can feel that knot in your throat, like we're getting ready to go to a new level. But I feel like when you go to those places, because we've done it privately, when we've been Skyping back and forth, when we've gone to a different place, you feel that transition. You feel your relationship deepening, and I'm just wondering because I tend to navigate towards the oversharing side of things and can get in trouble from time to time. And I was curious of your perspective.
Yeah,
that's good.
I love sharing I do love sharing the human moments. It's the vulnerable, not even the vulnerable, I guess maybe it's because that one was more of a wound that was still being, it's still healing. Because I would say it's healed, but there's still the scar there. And to me, it's like, if you've got a scar and you rub up against that, it instantly brings back the trauma. Mm. It's like you can't remember the pain, but you remember that there was pain. And it's that moment that takes you out of it. So that's where that I don't appreciate. I don't like it, even though I understand it and I know how important it is. But the other stuff, I'll tell you what I watch and what I wear.
Right.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Dustin says, laughter doeth good like a medicine. And that is a proverb, I believe. And
it is, yes.
Jessica B. I think that's my wife. Is that Jessica Brown? Hello, Jessica B.
It is.
She says, Jared values emotional honesty. I sure do. That's a huge thing for me.
Yep.
PJ says, I like seeing your total personalities, not just your pastoral ones. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them. I like Joshua's personality. Just saying. We're really growing to become friends through this whole thing. Like, it was an interesting, we were friends before, but I would say Veda was an endeavor, like a joint ministry type endeavor.
Right.
where we're learning one another. A lot of our questions were targeted more towards getting to know one another. And then this one was just, for me, that's why it was so much fun. I wasn't worried about what you were going to say. I wasn't worried about your responses to questions.
Yeah.
Couldn't care less what you were going to ask. It was going to be fun, and we're going to have a good time. I
Yep.
knew we were going to grow together. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, and I think Diana had said that it's absolutely enjoyable. She thinks those human elements are important. And those are the things that I've said this, I continue to say it, it's the Maxwell thing. People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And part of that is me being human. And for people to see that I'm human, I'm real, I'm a little goofy, a little odd, I'm different. I think that helps them to understand, oh, wait, he's a human being. He puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. Maybe I'll listen to what he has to say. So,
do you think before we end this live stream, do you think we can get Jesse and Genevieve in, or do you think that is a lost cause?
No, I know we cannot get Genevieve in. She's at the gym right now. We might be able to get Jessica in. Yeah.
Baby!
I got this guy over here, Bubba Beans, saying, this is a rerun. Thumbs down for the deceptive clickbait. Bubba, we're live. We're live, Bubba. He was actually, he retracted a couple of his comments. He didn't like him. He was asking how we make a living, which is an interesting thing. We're both pastors.
Hey, look what I found.
We do lots of stuff. It's Jessica!
Me. I can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything. Here, you got to share.
She can hear.
Sharesies. Why don't you come around here so they can see you?
Sharing is caring.
We don't have to stand up.
I would have Genevieve in here, but she took off and left. And now people got to see her arm a few different times as she did the floating coffee hand.
I did leave, but I came back.
You did. He'd asked where you were, and I told him you were probably out walking the dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, I did do that.
So
Dustin says, hi, Jessica.
Hello.
Oh, wait, you said somebody had a question. This was a rerun?
yeah, he just wondered if it was a rerun, but...
Give me a newspaper.
It's
real.
Hey, guess what? It is the 2nd of September, 2019 at 8:53 p.m. in the Central right now. I don't know how else to say that it's... I think the fact that I just answered his question about it being a rerun live, but
yeah,
those are some of the fun things that happen when you're going live. You just get weird questions that people ask, and then they don't like it because you didn't respond to them right away, so they jump out. For the rest of you that have been here, thank you for sticking with us and being patient while we talk to each other and try to bounce back and forth between all the comments. And we do respond. That's why Jessica's here. Jessica's here because Dustin asked for it. Or was it Danielle that asked for it?
Dustin, I think.
We delivered on that.
It was Dustin. Are we going to see Jessica before this stream ends? Hey, Jessica, I have a question for you.
Wish granted.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Vlog Pastors Season 3?
In August of 2020? Sure.
Well, that's good. While we have you here, why don't you like it?
I don't see you.
Okay.
I went to bed by myself for a month. A month.
Now that is, to be clear, that's scheduling issues. That's
that
on
ain't
my
right.
end.
Yeah.
Because there was a way to go ahead.
And Jared, you and I had talked about this before it happened, and that was both of our big concerns. We didn't want that to happen. And unfortunately, it happened to both of our wives.
Yeah, it happened.
So
we had come up with a way to where we could possibly have every other day off. It just didn't happen.
There's just no way around it. We both work full-time jobs, so you come home at night, you eat dinner, you walk the dogs, and then you edit all night.
Isn't she pretty? I don't know that anybody can answer
I
that.
look horrific.
So pretty. I'm smitten with her.
So, Jessica, follow-up question. If a divinely inspired idea could allow us to have Vlog Pastor Season 3 where your husband could be in bed with you every night, is that a possibility?
Yes.
There we go.
All right. From our mouth to your ears, inspire us, Lord.
There's some really good ideas for a possible season 3. I'm
We
just
do,
saying.
yeah.
I'll
We've
keep
got
the
some
nail on the head.
ideas. And I'm excited for us to kind of talk a little bit more in depth about those, and really just kind of, I don't know, test them to see, is this possible? Because there were some ideas we had for season 2 that, looking back on them, they wouldn't have worked. And so I was glad we had kind of fleshed it out and scrapped those. But yeah, season 3, I'm more in the Jessica camp of if, not when.
Really?
I'm telling you, the last week was that brutal.
Wow.
Yeah. And maybe it was the combination.
You think it was the last week?
I guess.
The last week was the hardest.
Week 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started to fall a little bit further behind. You'll notice. What, you done?
I'm gonna go get a guest speaker.
Oh goodness. Well, now that you invite the wife, you invite the dogs. Get ready for the dogs.
Sure.
Okay. So no. So week 2 is hard, but the last week you start pushing your edits later and later and later and later and later until you're starting your edit at like 9:30, 9:45, 10,
It's
11.
Sergeant.
Hey, it's Sarge. It's the pup.
Oh, he's so cute.
He's 11.
11?
He's 11. He's been with us since the beginning. We've been married for 10 years.
Almost 11.
And then he's 11.
He's a premarital dog.
We had him before we got married. I'm like, what are you talking about? Premarital what?
Yeah, Dustin just sent me a text message. Dustin, I will not forget. I'm going to bring that up. That was one of your early questions that we just spaced over, so I like that. Hey, are we going to see Flash?
Flash. Can we see Flash?
Flashy.
He's a little harder. He's quite a bit bigger. I don't know if he can get up here.
It'll be funny.
Like
It'll be entertaining. I want to see Flash on your lap.
I don't know.
Watch that blue Yeti get knocked over.
All right, I'll be right back. Hold on. Come on, buddy.
Oh.
Big boy. He's big boy. Let's get you. Oh my gosh. Oh my
He's
gosh.
60
Say
pounds.
hi. Say hi.
There's Flash. Flash is in the house. Hi, Flash. He didn't want to look at us. He's not feeling too entertained by that.
All right.
Oh, he's so awesome.
He's not light.
That is correct. Yep. So Dustin asked earlier. Let me see if I can find. I'm gonna scroll up and see if I can find the exact phrasing that he had on this. It might have actually been in yours because I don't think he even responded to me for quite a while. So let me jump back over here to yours.
I'm looking. Lots from Sonic. Hey, Sonic. Yeah. Thank you, sir. We are a cute couple. Well, she's the cute part.
Oh, Dustin did say that his daughter's question, Eliana, was his favorite video from us, putting the pressure on us.
Oh, yeah. That was...
Yep.
I was
Sonic
so
Grace
touched by
loving
that
the
video.
lightning that you had coming from your fingertips, which was awesome. So I think, I don't know, Dustin's question, he's wondering essentially, is there going to be a Vlog Pastures mini-series in November from Tulsa?
I got you. November?
Yep.
Which I still haven't heard back. There's a chance. I might get to go to Cambodia to work for a nonprofit who wants to do some behind the scenes. Just to let you guys know, some behind the scenes for their nonprofit to kind of let people know, bring some awareness to it. So I would be doing the video work for that. So I really am interested in that. And if I don't do that, then for you guys, there would be a real solid possibility that I could swing something in Tulsa. So we might do a joint collab.
Yep.
Middle of November, right?
Beginning of November, I think.
Beginning of November.
7th, 8th, 9th?
Okay.
Yes. 7th, 8th, 9th.
That's brilliant, Dustin. Danielle wants to see a video with the dogs with our voices.
Ooh,
So like
I like
our
it.
dogs, but that's clever.
I like it. That would be a fun.
Yeah, both hands for Flash.
Yep, yep. Got to use both hands. So yeah, that would be interesting. I had a couple other questions here I want to get to. Carter Sauce, hey, another one of my nephews. What do you think is the most important in a thumbnail for a video? Aesthetically matching other thumbnails, simplicity, or clickbait in a non-descriptive manner?
Who is this kid? Who are you?
This is my nephew.
Your nephew?
Yep, Carter.
Come teach me. Come teach me, Carter. Come teach me. This is one of my weaknesses. Tags and thumbnails are my weak area. I kick them over. I will kick this question over to the professional, but you're asking all the right questions. I know that. I'm still circling the drain on figuring out what works for me.
So I would say it really depends on what kind of content you're putting out there. However, I think you need to have good contrast, especially if you have any words on there. If you do not have words, just by looking at it, they need to see what it's about. I think maybe the clarity and simplicity is the most important aspect. So I saw this one just the other day, and it was from Peter McKinnon. It had no words. All it was his hand sticking on the screen, and he's holding the new Insta 360 Go. And so just from looking at that, I knew it was about that piece of tech. That's what the whole video was going to be about. So that's kind of what I would do if there's not any text. If there is text, no more than 4 words. They need to be short words. They need to be able to be read on one of these devices. So that means you need short, big words that kind of get straight to the point of it.
If only someone would come up with a course where people could find all of this information consolidated in one place. Where would you find such a course? Please, Lord, inspire someone to make a course.
3-Minute Thursday, thumbnails. I better write that down. 3.
That's a good question. That's a really good question because that's the game. That's the game on YouTube. It's the part that I don't like playing. I like turning on the camera. I like speaking from the heart. I like seeing what God does in the comments and all of this stuff. This is my favorite part. What I do not like is the thumbnails and the tags, but it's a necessary evil, if you will. It's a necessary part of the game. You have to get it out there so that the future Sonic, the future PJ, the future Danielle, the future Carter, the future anybody who comes across your video will want to click on it to see it and find those nuggets that God put on your heart.
Correct. Yeah, and I didn't do this ahead of time, and I probably don't even have the ability to do it right here. I wonder.
Carter, I will.
This whole thing about the thumbnails, this is actually something that, Jared, you and I talked about for a little while there. I hope you don't mind me saying that, but you and I had talked about your thumbnails, and I gave you a couple little tips on how to, try to get them. It's not that I'm the best by any means, but...
and I implemented them this season.
You
noticed
did.
the consistent thumbnail flow for Vlog Pastures Season 2.
Yep.
You can thank the gentleman across the camera right here. Across the screen. I don't know which side I'm on, so I'm not watching that screen. Whoever's over here.
I'm on the other side. You got to point towards the door side? The other side.
Door side. Hey,
There you go.
that guy.
Yep. So here's what I was going to look at, the impressions and click-through rate, and see if I could find my top.
And PJ, we'll get to you here in just a second. That's a great question.
Yeah, let's see. Click on that. I want to go August. See more.
I'm curious as well.
Video.
While you're looking, I'm going to ask you this.
Okay, so
How
go ahead.
We're men, we don't multitask. How many black shirts do you own?
Plain black ones?
Mm. Another YouTube trick.
Let's clarify this.
Go.
How many black t-shirts do I own, or how many black t-shirts did I actually wear in August?
PJ wants to know, how many black shirts does Joshua own?
I've got this one other one, and then I think I bought a 3-pack. So I've got 5 black shirts. The 3-pack, I don't wear that often, so it was only when the other 2 were dirty. But yeah, I've got really just 2 that oh, hey, Genevieve is here. We might be able to get Genevieve on the live stream before it was open.
Hey, Genevieve, your turn. Genevieve. You're up. Come on, come on.
You're up. Jess was here. You get to come in.
While she's transitioning in, Sonic, you are actually doing contrary. I love yours, man. You fire up a thumbnail, and then whatever the Lord tells you to put up for a title, and it's working. And you've got a strong community built around your music, around the words that you're hearing from the Lord. It's incredible, dude. It's counter cultural to YouTube, and I love it. It works. God's on it.
Look at my hair. A big old hot mess.
There you go.
There she is. Hi. Hey, what does that say? What does your shirt say? Oh, Doctor Strange. Where's my camera? Closer.
Camera home.
Hey, Genevieve.
Hello.
How are you?
Tired.
Tired? Back from the gym.
No, I didn't
go. You think what? I missed that part. You didn't go?
No.
Oh, I thought you did. Why not?
I have kids. You're on a live stream. Doesn't work out.
Oh. Jared, it's all your fault.
I love it. I love it. I love the way that you guys interact. Y'all are always entertaining to watch.
That's funny.
Love it. So you started a new job. Do you mind if I ask this? I know this is kind of different than where we're going, but like, you started a new job this season. What's going on there? Tell me a little bit.
Josh usually does the talking.
Here, I got an idea. How about you talk? You guys do your thing. I'm going
to
go
have
a coffee break.
Okay, this is weird.
There you go. You're a natural. Look at you.
Oh, no.
Taking over the show. Genevieve Verwers. Here we go. No, you started a new side hustle, a new business. How did you get into that? Did you know some folks that were doing it? Like, is it working for you? Do you like it?
I didn't even know anything about it. It was actually Jason Mayfield had made a post about keto K-pods, and he showed it to Josh, and Josh was like,
"That's a coffee."
Yeah, it's
like
a little coffee
pod.
And Josh said, just shut up and take my money. And
nice.
So, it was a little pricey, but then Jason brought up the opportunity of the work that they do from the company called It Works. And Josh said, well, I had been looking for something to help with being a stay-at-home mom and homeschooling, and him working 4 jobs. I wanted to bring him home from one of those. So I prayed about it.
You're a good woman.
I have my moments. But I prayed about it. It is not something I would normally do. But God told me to step out of my comfort zone. And He would fill my boat. And yeah, it's been definitely different.
So you enjoy it? Worth it?
I do. It's definitely stretching me in areas I wouldn't have imagined. So going live or talking to people.
You're a pro. Come on, you're a pro.
No, that's what he's for.
I can't
Well, let me
hear
ask
anything.
you while I have you here. While I have you here and he can't hear anything. No, 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 no.
Oh.
While I have you here and he can't. No, no, he's good.
No.
While you can't hear anything. While he can't hear anything. What do you think about a possible Vlog Pastors season 3? Are you for it or are you against it? And why? Multiple part. You know me.
It's usually like 10 questions in there.
I've got
So
more. I'm
I'm
just
okay with
nice.
2. I'm okay for it, but I'm not okay for the coming to bed at 5, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
But I don't get upset with him. I let him rest when he needs it. But I do give him a little hard time.
About sleeping in till 10? Come on.
Or 1.
Oh, or 1? Oh, you're a pro. Wow. Oh, man. Hey, you need to talk to Jesse about that. I want to sleep until 1, babe. It's amazing.
I let him sleep till he gets up. Because
Awesome.
I know what it's for. I know that you guys are bringing the word and helping people. And why would I hinder that? And if he needs his rest, then that's what he does.
Well, thank you for sharing your husband with us this season. And hopefully we'll get to have 1 more. Maybe 2. Maybe 10. It's if we can talk you and Jesse into it. Come on, let's face it. That's what this is all about.
If he wants to do it, I'm always on board.
Yeah, we're going to talk him into it next. We need an overwhelming.
I don't think you have
You
to
know,
twist his
cheer of
arm
support.
too hard.
You ready, boss man? You ready to wrap this thing up?
Are we ready for me?
Yep.
Yeah, you're ready for me to come back?
Bye.
I'm not as entertaining as you.
No, she's awesome.
I'm
Oh.
sure she did amazing.
She did an amazing job. I'm just getting text messages from my wife saying, "Hey, girl," and I'm not a girl. "Hey, boy, we need to wrap this up." So,
All right. So here's what I was going to do real quick with the thumbnails. So for Carter, if you're watching this, for anybody else that are watching this, I'm going to give you the top 2 thumbnails that I've had in the last 30 days. The ones that have got the highest, YouTube calls it the click-through rate, CTR. One comes from Veda. It was day 23. Meet my family. This is us. And that's where we kind of introduced the whole family. That was the number 1 that had a click-through rate of 13.6%, which is insanely high. And then
it's really high.
Yeah.
That's really stinking high.
And then the other one from this season is 9%, and that was the one question I couldn't answer. And the thumbnail says, I couldn't answer. And so those are just 2 of them, but it's kind of an interesting perspective. So I've got a lot of contrast on those thumbnails. And the words, very little. There's not a whole lot to them. And faces, making eye contact with the lens. Those are some of the big best practices to really get those thumbnails up there. In the typical scheme of things, I mean, most of mine have a click-through of over 4%, which is how I, being a smaller channel, wind up getting quite a bit of views on my stuff. It's because as people are scrolling and they see it and it's like, ooh, and it makes them want to click, which is the click-through rate. So that's kind of that. And then to follow up on PJ's question about the black shirts, I primarily just wore the 2 black shirts, but I've been trying new shirts, trying to find ones that fit, and it wasn't just a YouTube thing for me. Part of it, yes, YouTube, if I'm doing 2 different videos on the same day that I'm trying to record, if I'm wearing a black shirt on every day, you don't know what day it is. But more than that, I'm pretty much changing all of my wardrobe, and I'm only going with white and black shirts, and primarily just black shirts. I have so many other things that my mind is thinking about. I don't want to think about what I'm wearing.
Yep.
I just I don't. So
And
that's what I've went
if
to.
you're part of the Bite a Brownie crew, I'm probably going to be heading to Black Shirts. Talked about that earlier in this season. We were like, hey, man, we need some sort of. I'd rather just dump it. Like I wear this Marvel shirt all the time. People will say, why do you wear the same shirt? Because I don't even think about it. It's whatever's fresh and clean.
Yep.
Hot and fresh out the dryer is what's going on.
Well,
They
and
end up in a lot of videos.
and I just bought 2 new hats last night. Should show up tomorrow. Thank you, Amazon. And they are both snapback flat bill hats. And I kind of went with like blackout. This one's got some summer sweat going on.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. And it's been there all month and it's
videos.
drove me nuts. But I was like, I ain't doing nothing about it. And I didn't want to buy another one. But then I was up at, where were we at? Pro Image at the mall yesterday. And I stopped in and I tried on one of the new era 950 styles. Genevieve says it looks good on me. That's all I needed to know.
Hey, that's all you need to know. That's all that truly matters.
Yep.
Let's be honest here.
I tried one of the 5950s and she's like, no, not good. So then I tried the 950 and she's like, that'll work. So bought a couple of those. But yeah, that worked. You got any other last minute questions that we want to hit before we roll up?
Nope. J Cup of Tea. Yes, we are. We're twins. I love it. I love this shirt. Jesse, I'm
Yes.
coming to bed. We're not going to stay up all night watching TV. No.
Nope. Harley's
That's
saying
maybe.
perhaps a vlog Pastors' Wives series or
Yeah.
spinoff.
That would be hilarious.
A
To have
spin-off.
me in bed sleeping and be like, babe, come to bed. That would be worth it. That would be worth
That'd be
it.
funny.
Such an alternate universe kind of a thing.
That would be funny. Kyle Thompson asking, do you take time to create environments for your vlog or ministry?
That's a good question. Do you mean video style, or do you mean like atmosphere, like spirit environments? The answer to both is yes on my
Yes.
end. So I guess I could answer it for you.
I would say yes. I would say, and both of them, it kind of depends. As far as creating environments for this that I've got back here, I'm going to flip over just so they can kind of see it real quick. But this whole thing, this took me quite a while to actually get and to be able to kind of implement all of that. So that's taken a little bit of time to create that type of thing. When I'm out and about, it doesn't typically take too much for those, like the backdrops and the settings and that environment that I'm setting. It's just wherever I'm at. I kind of want to keep that as low as possible. However, to create the spirit environment of it, that usually takes a little bit more time because it's praying about it, trying to really get a clear direction of where we're going. And even leading up to this series, there was probably more time I spent in prayer leading up to it than during it.
Yep.
So I figured we did enough praying and plowing beforehand, and once we got going, it was just like, Holy Spirit, just take over and lead us.
Running downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Whenever it's just me hammering it out, or me and Jesse on our channel, we usually have, we have the closet studio. That's where we do most of our stuff, and we've been kind of transitioning over into this future live stream space, which is still a work in progress. Eventually, I'm going to spin everything around. And then what I noticed though with Vlog Pastures was there was a lot of places in my house that kept on, and around my house that kept on coming up, like the front porch and being in the kitchen, the coffee bar, that kind of a thing. It was like, oh, well, this is becoming a thing. So you don't have to have a dedicated YouTube closet like my wife has so graciously allowed me to have. You don't have to have one of those. You can have a coffee bar, you can have a kitchen table, and people get used to seeing that. Just find good lines and find an entertaining story and get after it.
Yep. Absolutely. Carter Sauce saying season 2.5. I think he was talking about November, which, by the way, I mean, if
2.5?
the November season 2.5 happens, I mean, you're going to have Dustin and Carter and J Cup of Tea as well.
Well, that would be awesome. It's just going to be expensive for you because we did say the next time that we get together, we're going to have...
I know. It's supposed to be Drone Wars, Church Edition. I know some people. I think I can borrow somebody's.
I'm bringing
Genevieve
the
says
workhorse.
I'm not buying a drone. But that's because she knows I'm buying a new camera in preparation for Vlogmas.
Dude, this is expensive. You get into the black hole of YouTube. Good night.
That it really does. Danielle saying, why don't y'all just take turns every day and post the same video on both channels? So 2 parts to that. Why don't we just take turns every day? That's a thought. We've actually discussed it. Basically, he and I going every other day. My only concern with that is we typically do these on months that there's a daily vlog challenge. So we're not really daily vlogging, but it would still work if we just toss the daily vlog challenge out the idea or out the window and just say it's more of the vlog Pastures. But posting the same video on both channels, that we can't do because that is violation of YouTube's terms of service. Because
Details.
It's one person that kind of created the whole thing. They crack down on duplicate content and whatnot. Although for some reason this works and they don't have a problem with us doing that. I wonder if we could do the other with having no, because that wouldn't work. Because I know there are YouTube creators that they've like I'm thinking of Brian G. Johnson, that he created a different video, but he used a lot of his old footage and YouTube flagged him for that stuff too. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if they flag us for this, even though they told us that it was fine. We'll see.
Yeah. Great.
So I think
Demonetized.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no.
That makes so much money off it. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, yeah. Would you guys be interested in a how much money we make video? It'd be under 10 seconds.
I'm not sure I would want to share that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Somebody's actually got a business plan.
It's not that it's any big thing. It's just that there are so many in Christianity that think that pastors are supposed to be in poverty. Which, yeah. Don't know what Bible they're reading.
Crazy.
Yeah,
This may be a question for Joshua to address on a 3-minute Thursday, but is there a way to do vlogging cheaply,
Yes. Done.
but still produce quality content?
You know what would be fun? Maybe for a 3-minute Thursday, if I actually link
Great question.
up. I think I'm going to do... You know what? This is a great idea. I will do a vlog that is just a self... What would you say is cheaply? Let me put that out there. Who had that question? That was a good question.
PJ.
Okay, so PJ, here's my follow-up question to you. What is cheaply? Like, what dollar limit would you consider cheaply? I mean, is it $0? Is it $20? Is it $50? Is it $100? Cheaply. You tell me what...
You see this right here? Which he
Yep.
has one. This guy right here, that attached to my cell phone is what I used for the first entire 100-ish episodes of Bite a Brownie. And it worked
Yep.
like a champ. It
PJ's
was
saying a
$50.
phone doesn't have money for cameras and stuff. Okay. Yeah. See, and I may just do that. I may just do a whole vlog of just like free,
Definitely.
using only what you got. Cause that's my best advice. I just talked to somebody yesterday about this, about, what's the best camera? It's the one that you have on you. Mm-hmm. So whatever you've
That's
got
even true.
is the best.
Like shooting this whole documentary training series thing.
Yep.
It's the best camera that we had was whichever one was recording whenever the stuff went down.
Yeah.
So whenever Jake was praying for somebody or something was happening, the best camera was the cell phone, sometimes the GoPro, sometimes it wasn't necessarily the big rig because it was somewhere else. So
Yeah, that's good.
whatever one's on you.
That's a good idea. Vlog cheaply. Okay, I did write that. That's
Hey,
a
don't
really
forget,
good one. I like that idea.
Jesse's right on this. Okay, if you're using
Pro
using
tip.
your cell phone, pro tip here. This is for real. Turn it on airplane mode and it functions just like a camera. Otherwise, you're going to be picking up all these beep 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 beeps
Yep.
in your video, and you're going to be so mad at Joshua because you're going to be saying, "You told me you could do this with a cell phone. You can." You need that pro tip though. Thanks, babe.
Airplane
Pro tip.
mode. Yes. That is so good. I love that one. Yep. Well,
Lots more. I love. Yeah, we can do that all day.
I don't think I have any other questions that are sitting here that we haven't addressed. I think we got most of them. I apologize if we did miss one.
Yep.
And I think from looking back over yours, I mean, other than that little bit that I was gone. Ooh, Jessica did say Vlog Pastor Wives, June 2020.
2020. She has no intention of that. I'm calling her on it right now.
No, I think she is.
I
think she's serious.
Hey, yeah, let's hold her to it.
Genevieve's like, what did she say? What did she say? She said what? She's going to come in and give a dirty look. Jessica's looking. Yep. Oh, that would be fun. You know, we would be although if it was true Vlog Pastor Wives, we should make them edit as well.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. Yeah.
Nope, Jen just ran off. That would be fun. Let's just walk around and record them all day. But then what we will do is we'll do like the bad lip reading videos where we will dub over.
I'm actually writing that down. Look for that video in the next month. That's
the bad
hilarious.
Lip reading.
Oh,
it's gonna happen.
Jesse, a bad lip reading.
No.
It's going. I like it.
No.
We've got a new one. That's our new challenge. Bad lip reading.
Dustin, you're out. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. Thank you, sir. You made this season. Oh my goodness. You made this season awesome. Really, your contribution. So hopefully I caught you before you headed out. But thank you.
Harley just laughed out loud at the dubbing idea.
No, I don't know if I like him now.
Oh, see, Jessica saying she's graduating with her master's May of 2020, so life can happen after that. See, she's thinking ahead. I like it.
Really, babe.
I like it. Good.
Really,
good.
babe.
All right. Well, I don't think I have anything else.
I don't have anything else. You just need to commit to a Vlog Pastures season 3. That's it. I just need a solid verbal commitment out of your mouth that this isn't the end of the road. Or do we leave it on a cliffhanger?
Vlog Pastors will be back.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Just don't know when.
That's awesome.
Although that being said,
guys, thank you all.
That being said, I will be doing Vlogmas. I mean, I'm daily vlogging 3 times a year. Every Vlogmas, every Veda, every Vlogust. That's what I'm doing.
There we go.
I guess we might see you back in December or November for season 2.5.
Well, to everybody who's been along for the ride, thank you guys so much. Really, from the bottom of my heart, I'm going to speak for Jesse. You guys have made this season totally, totally worth it. It's been awesome getting to know each and every one of you. It's been awesome, Joshua, to get to know you quite a bit better, my friend. Whether we vlog or whether we don't, we need to continue partnering together in whatever we do in the future. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thank you to you and to all of you.
So,
Love
hey,
my heart, my man.
Before we do our sign-offs, I'll do mine, you do yours. When is your next video coming out? Do you have an idea, a time frame?
Yeah, I have an idea, time frame. Video for me will be Friday of this week, and that's going to be the 600, although we're at 640 someone, 600 subscriber challenge with Shane and Casey and the gang of whenever we took on the challenge that Joshua invited us into so long ago. So we finally tackled that a couple days ago.
Pepper Pyramid.
Yeah, it was nasty. Oh, it was nasty. Not my style. Bleh. Oh, that's why there's a little bit of joy, just a tiny bit of joy whenever you tackle Da Bomb.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Yep. And I will have, the first 3-minute Thursday will be this Thursday. So there you go. And you should have a vlog as well on Friday.
Whoa, you're ready. You're back up and running.
I told you, I've only got about 48 hours that I needed to take off, and then I'm ready to go.
Not me, guys. I'm going to be enjoying time with my wife. We're going to do the Friday one, and then it'll be another week before the next one comes out. And then we'll be back to twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yep. And apart from wait, let's see if I can point at it. Apart from the Instagram, where they can find you out of there, anywhere else that you're involved at?
Not really. You could look for me on Facebook. You ain't going to find me. I'm on Instagram down below. I mean, we built the relationship here. Let's continue it going here.
That's right.
But reach out if you want to DM me or something. If you want to talk a little bit quicker, hit me up in that DM of Instagram.
Cool. Yeah, and for me, guys, Instagram, or if you want some little stuff, should be starting tomorrow at some time. You're going to get a daily dose from me over on TikTok as well. Those are little 15-second clips. But if you're on TikTok, there you go. If you're not on TikTok and you don't want to, stay away. I'll probably be uploading a weekly recap of those TikTok on Instagram, so you won't miss out if you just want to prefer to be there. So that's all I got. Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. Before you sign off, I do need to mention, I'm sorry, thank you, baby. Jessie posts daily. If you want to follow Jessie, she's got goats everywhere. Goats and kittens and dogs and everything. And she's at preacherswife_Jessica on Instagram.
Yes. She is posting, and
she's amazing.
The stories. She's one of the few Instagram accounts that I watch the stories as often as possible. I don't get them every day, but I am catching those quite a bit. Sometimes all I want is to just go see her Instagram story, and that's
you want to see the goat jump off of the bridge. That's all. That's what we all want to see. Just do the goat thing.
Either that, or her just talking to them, or talking to the cats. It's always so fun. So, or when she has one of those life experiences out and about, and you see the slight frustration in her eye.
Oh, yeah.
And yet a grace-filled countenance.
Tell you what, that slight frustration commands respect whenever it shifts on you.
It does, yes. Yep. All right, well, there we go. So for me, I just want you all to stay blessed, enjoy God's best, and Jared says...
I'm out. I say, I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.
There we go.
Love you guys.